This young man is Yuan Yi. He just transmigrated and has only 3 days left to live. Beside him is a fox spirit girl who could kill him at any moment. If Yuan Yi wants to survive, he must lower her hatred value to win her over. He's given it his all, but the seeds of hatred were planted long ago. The slightest mistake could cost Yuan Yi his life. And he has 7 more villains like her to deal with. It turns out this is a world that runs on slavery as long as you have money. You can buy any slave you want. And all of this, Yuan Yi only knew because he had stayed up all night reading a book. At that moment, someone complained, "Old Lee, stop reading. We have to be up at 8 a.m. tomorrow. Get some sleep." He immediately collapsed onto his pillow whining, "I'm so sleepy." And just like that, he slowly fell into a deep sleep, dreaming a beautiful dream somewhere else. Old Master Zhang's birthday is coming up, and he's throwing a huge banquet. Just now, Zhang Jie was getting intimate with a female demon. He spoke up, "Brother Huang, I heard you want to sell and the female slaves from your house." Rahan sighed. "It's a long story. The cows and oxen that turn the millstone at my house, they are too old and want to rest. Plus, they get sick all the time. So my wife wants to buy a few male slaves to turn the millstone. My family isn't as rich as the Zhangs, so I can only sell off a few female slaves." He burst out laughing. "Say no more. The male slaves in my house are no different from livestock, and they even understand human speech. I'll come over to your place another day to see the female slaves you want to sell." Suddenly, a slender hand caressed his face. She said softly, "Master, why don't you buy me as well? I've heard you treat people very well, Master. If you have a good time today, please put in a few good words for this humble servant with old Master Zhang." This humble servant wants to be a handmaiden. Zhang Jie laughed even louder. "Isn't being a slave at old Master Zhang's house good enough?" He waved his hand towards the worldly pleasures before him. "Look at those female beastmen enjoying themselves in ecstasy." He said contemptuously, "You think a few words from me can make you human again? That's as likely as a sow climbing a tree." Someone else cheerfully chimed in, "Go on, you teach a sow to climb a tree, and then we'll grant you human status." Rahan, leaning against the beast woman's thigh, spoke up. "That's right. Since old Master Zhang is having a birthday banquet, why isn't young Master Zhang here?" Zhang Jie smirked. "You haven't heard. Young Master Zhang has taken a fancy to that pitiful demon slave of Li Yuan Yi's, so he's been at his house recently to negotiate a price. In my opinion, for that demon to be with young Master Zhang, the greatest blessing of your life." Meanwhile, in a dilapidated house in the Zhang family village, a man spoke timidly. "Young Master Li, besides money, I'll also give you 2 female slaves." Yuan Yi angrily cursed. "What kind of crap is this? You think I need your damn money? You think I've never seen money before?" He made a counteroffer. "I'll give you 3 of my female slaves. Each and every one of them will do anything you ask. They're more obedient than dogs. This one in your house looks quite good, though." "She doesn't look much like a female slave, does she? I'll help you discipline her." Hearing those words, he frowned in anger. Then Yuan Yi reached out and grabbed Kufu's chin, his voice filled with indignation as he said, "You feel wronged." Then annoyed, Yuan Yi shoved her to the floor and yelled, "How dare you feel wronged in front of me? Even if you gave me 10 of them, I wouldn't trade. What belongs to me, even if it rots in my house, is still mine." Old Zhang said scornfully, "I can see you don't even like her, so why keep her around?" He replied, "None of your business." The man sneered, "Li Yuan Yi, I've come to see you several times recently. Are you really going to ruin everyone's mood over this one female slave? What's going on? Have you developed feelings for your slave? Don't make me laugh." Those mocking words enraged Yuan Yi. His hands clenched, but there was nothing he could do. Old Zhang spoke bluntly, without any courtesy. "Your family has already fallen into this state. What dignity do you have left, just like your father who brought ruin to the family? Raising a slave costs more than raising a dog. Think about it carefully. What I'm offering you is pure gold and silver. If you get lucky, you could change your life. Let me tell you something, Li Yuan Yi. Around here, with a wave of my hand, I can summon the wind and rain. If you want to play hardball with me, I don't mind teaching your family another lesson." He couldn't contain his anger anymore and roared, "Screw your mother." That day, the sky was overcast. Suddenly, Yuan Yi was struck hard on the head with a wooden plank. His attacker nonchalantly dusted off his hands as he fell heavily to the ground, motionless. Kufu witnessed the horrifying scene. Her face went pale with fright. She reported terrified, "He's dead. He's not breathing anymore. What do we do?" "Young master." Old Zhang unimpressed spat on the ground. "He refused a toast, so he had to drink a forfeit. In that case, let's send him down below to reunite with his family. This is a good thing anyway." Then he glanced over at the girl trying to flee the scene. Old Zhang ordered, "Tie this demon slave up and parade her through the square. They say she suddenly went feral and harmed her master. Today, the Zhang family will purify this demon slave to rid the people of this menace," and then she was dragged away. She screamed nonstop, "I didn't do it, let me go." In the modern day, Yuan Yi was tossing and turning from a nightmare. The book opened by itself, its pages glowing, as he mumbled the name Kufu in his sleep. Then a system interface appeared, repairing storyline. The scene shifts back to ancient times in the tribal square. A crowd had gathered to gossip while she continued to tremble. "Hey, she's real. Let me get a feel." Disgusting, lustful hands reached for Kufu. Terrified, she screamed, "Don't touch me." Her scream woke the unconscious Yuan Yi. He shot up, annoyed, complaining, "Who the hell is screaming?" Yuan Yi clutched his aching head. "Wait! My head really hurts. Where am I?" Just then a shout from outside made him jump. This damn bitch! She was playing dead and then she bit me. Get her? A million questions flooded Yuan Yi's mind. He dragged his trembling body outside. What's going on? Kufa was being dragged along the ground, bombarded with curses. Just a slave, and she has so many tricks up her sleeve. No wonder Li Yuanyi hates her. Well, it's not like Li Yuanyi is any good himself. Is there any slave more miserable than her treated worse than a pig or a dog? Even the best woman would be driven mad by that. I don't know. My female slave isn't like this. Wen Yi's head was full of question marks. Don't tell me. I've been transmigrated. Have I been transported into a novel? Then the one being tormented out there must be Kufu, one of that damn bastard slaves. This novel is called The Villainess Adores Me. I actually skipped school and pretended to be sick just to read it for 3 days and 2 nights. And my dream feels just like the plot from the book. Kufu is even more innocent than I imagined. Just then someone walked over. Li Yuan Yi, you're awake. Hearing that name struck him like lightning. So I'm that bastard. The man shoved a club into Yuan Yi's hand. Here, take this. This female slave of yours tried to escape. We caught her for you. Now it's your turn to deal with her. His mouth twitched. This damn bastard only lives for 3 days in the novel. Are you kidding me? Suddenly, Yuan Yi saw a magical bright energy and a massive amount of spiritual aura filled the sky. It was the system. Greetings, host. I am doodling your personal system. Welcome to the world of the novel. As the plot has already started, I'll keep this brief. You are playing the role of Li Yuan Yi, a cannon fodder character. Your objective is to reform the female villains of this novel. Yuan Yi yelled in disbelief. Wait a minute. A cannon fodder character has to reform the female villain. You've got to be kidding me. The system warned, there is no time to explain, but once a female villain's blackening value reaches 5 stars, you will die instantly. The blackening value of female lead number 1 and is rising rapidly. If you don't act now, you're about to die. Just then, a man holding an egg shouted, Li Yuan Yi, are you an idiot? Watch and learn. After that, the man threw an egg right at Kufu's head. Yuan Yi immediately panicked and yelled, what the hell are you doing? The other man flinched, instinctively recoiling. Yuan Yi ran out to shield her. Let's see who dares bully her. Meanwhile, Xiaoyuan watched from afar. Thoroughly amused, she crossed her arms, thinking, so he's actually protecting Kufu, huh? Doding reported, danger. The blackening value is rising. It's still rising. He jumped and spun around. I'm protecting you. Yeah, so why is your blackening value still going up? Suddenly, a thought flashed through Yuan Yi's mind. He gritted his teeth in frustration. I'm such a complete idiot. I've transmigrated into the body of Kufu's greatest tormentor. For a man who abused her for years to suddenly be nice to her. Anyone can see it's a big act. Yuan Yi slowly opened his eyes. I understand. Time to change my strategy? He glared at the surrounding crowd, his killing intent flaring. This is my woman, so I'll be the one to punish her. I don't need a bunch of you bastards getting involved. Now get lost. The crowd chuckled. I told you, there's no way Li Yuan Yi would suddenly change his ways. Turns out he was just jealous. Let's go. That slave girl is really going to suffer now. He puffed out his chest, putting on an act. From now on, all of you stay away. Whether she lives or dies, she's still my property. Anyone else who dares to lay a hand on her, I'll skin him alive. Kufu, her face covered in wounds, stared at him, brimming with killing intent. Yuan Yi turned back to face her. She immediately shut her eyes, bracing for the inevitable blow. But instead he shouted, what are you still doing here? Get the hell back to the house, Duding announced. Blackening value has stopped increasing. Excellent work, host. Seeing that she wasn't moving, he yelled angrily, what are you dawdling for? Do you think my patience is infinite? Meanwhile, blood trickled from Kufu's hand, which was clenched tightly around a sharp stone. Her entire body radiated an aura of deep resentment. From a distance, Xiaoyuan was taking it all in. She rested her chin on her hand, remarking, this Li Yuan Yi is a little interesting. Yuan Yi angrily ground his teeth. Follow me. If you're too slow, I'll chop your legs off. Meanwhile, Kufu was completely exhausted, drenched in sweat, and panting non-stop. Suddenly, her steps faltered, and she lost her balance just as he turned around. Just then he saw Kufu slowly collapsing. Wenap looked at her weak on the ground and felt a bit of pity. She really is pathetic. Let this young master teach you a good lesson. The sun set, casting its evening glow. It shone into his dilapidated house. Wenap turned to Daodin and said, come to think of it, isn't there a starter pack or something? Daodin replied, host has 10 starter points and can buy gifts in the point shop. What would you like to buy? He opened the space and thought, only 10 free points and I still have to be careful with them. Later, I'll have to ask if there's a first top-up bonus. It's probably all high-end stuff I can't afford anyway. In that case, I'll buy this 2-point women's outfit. I'll consider it compensation for Kufu on behalf of the original owner. Why isn't she awake yet? It's been 3 days. Just then, she slowly opened her eyes, waking from a daze. Seeing Kufu sit up, Daodin excitedly announced, she's awake. He let out a sigh of relief, his gaze softening. You're finally awake. Nguyenap brought over a bowl of medicine. This was just prepared. Hurry up and drink it. But when she saw him like that, and she shrank back into the corner in fear, Daodin warned danger. Her corruption level is rising. She thinks you're trying to poison her. Lee Nguyen-ap's character profile is about to be ruined. He coughed a few times, composing himself. The gentleness vanished, replaced by a cold, emotionless face. Not drinking. You'll drink it, whether you want to or not. I don't want a dead body in my room. Hurry up. Nguyen-ap shoved the bowl towards her. You worthless thing. If you don't drink it, I'll throw you out right now. Khufu immediately took the bowl of medicine and drank it all. She glared at him angrily. What other tricks do you have? He cursed, damn it, under his breath. Khufu thought despairingly. This time Lang Nguyen-ap was knocked out because of me. Now that he's awake, will I even survive? If I could just die quickly, that would be fine. But I don't know how I'll be tortured before I die. I can only blame my own limited strength. It would be better to do it myself. Suddenly, a new set of clothes was thrown over her head. Interrupting her train of thought, he couldn't keep up the cold act anymore, only frustration. Do it yourself. What are you talking about? Get that idea out of your head. Otherwise, even if you die, I'll still whip your corpse. A while later, Nguyen-ap brought in a tray of food. He ordered, I gave you clothes to wear and now I'm giving you food to eat. Aren't you going to thank this young master for his great benevolence? Tiu Nguyen, in her snake form, thought, he's still as vicious as before. It seems nothing has changed. She slowly transformed, her slender feet gradually appearing. Tiu Nguyen returned to her human form, a beautiful woman. But that day, I felt like he was a different person. Oh, whatever. As long as he continues to abuse Khufu, I'll still have a chance. Suddenly, two girls called out loudly, interrupting her thoughts. Zhenyi, want to go pick fruit with us? She turned her head happily, a bright smile on her face, and replied, okay. At that moment, Nguyen-ap looked up. You only deserve to eat this stuff. When I was a kid, I raised the dog Wang Cai, and I always had to cook 4 dishes and a soup for it. Look at how you're dressed. It makes people think I don't feed you. Even a trash picker could be my slave. What a disgrace. Hurry up and change for me. Don't embarrass my live family. And this food, eat every last bite for me. If you dare leave a single piece, I'll pour it over your head. Dao reported corruption level increased by 1. He fumed, I can't even be fierce with her. How am I supposed to deal with her? It replied, it's not that you weren't fierce enough. She still suspects the food is poisoned. Helpless, he picked up a chicken leg. Just how badly did the original owner treat her? Why is she so guarded? He spoke up. There's actually a chicken leg in this soup. How did I not see it? A chicken leg is something like you worthy of eating it. It's delicious, but just looking at you disgusts me. I've completely lost my appetite. Nguyen-ap slammed the door and left. This young master really loses all his joy just looking at you. Khufu stared blankly at his departing figure. She was speechless. She quickly and hastily jumped up. Khufu, who hadn't had a full meal in a long time, grabbed the chicken leg with her hands and began to eat nonstop. Loud noises echoed from inside Nguyen-ap's old house. Khufu was stuffing her mouth with food, but tears streamed down her face. She wiped the tears from her cheeks after finally having a proper meal. Dao Din showed him the scene. Host Khufu's corruption level has decreased for the first time. Congratulations, host! Nguyen-ap spat on the ground. A girl as beautiful as this? How could that scumbag from the novel be so cruel as to torture her, and he even has the same name as me? The author must be a pervert too. Suddenly his eyes were drawn to a reflection in the water. Nguyen-ap wondered, why is my reflection so blurry? It doesn't look like anything at all. Dao Din explained. The physical description of Li Nguyen-ap takes up 52 words in the 6 million word novel, because you can't remember it. The reflection isn't of a person either. He gave a bitter smile. Who would waste their life paying attention to some cannon fodder character? It reminded its master that in the novel, you're set up to not bathe for 3 days. Hearing this, he covered his mouth in disgust. Fine, you win. Can I spend 1 point to buy some body wash? It agreed. Of course, no problem. Right now, with the purchase of body wash, you'll also receive a free bath towel and face towel. As soon as he accepted, the requested items appeared in a shower of stars. By the way, I just saw a special promotion for a first aid kit for 1 point. I want to buy one of those too. It nodded. No problem. By the way, host, the items you buy in the store can be used forever. Yuan Ye happily praised Du Ding, you're the best. He hid behind the door, curious. Is dinner over yet? It replied, you delivered it half an hour ago. Yuan Ye kicked the door open. Then she must be almost done by now. The loud noise made Khufu jump, and her body began to tremble. His face darkened as he asked, Du Ding, why isn't she eating? It replied, I forgot. Her injuries make it difficult for her to eat. Yuan Ye ordered, sit down for me and keep eating. If my dog has to eat leftovers, I'm sure you remember what the consequences are, right? Her expression changed instantly. She grew tense. Then with tears welling in her eyes, Khufu sat down and ate. Suddenly he reached into his pocket, fumbling for something. She immediately grew worried. Looks like he's found another way to torture me. Just as I thought he's using poison on me. He really is the same old Li Yuan Ye. Yuan Ye sneered. Hurts, doesn't it? It's supposed to hurt. Internally, forget it. It's useless explaining to her that this is disinfectant. It's better to just let her think I'm torturing her. He put on a villainous expression, leaned close to her ear and said, keep eating. Don't you dare stop. You hold out your injured hand too. All the wounds have to hurt at once. A long while later, only empty bowls were left on the table. Yuan Ye turned to leave. The medicine is applied. Well, then I'm leaving him out, sir. She wondered to herself. Medicine, medicine. The thing he rubbed on me was medicine, not poison. Seeing him slam the door, Khufu called out, wait. Her voice was weak and full of suspicion. Isn't this your room? Night fell and the temperature dropped quickly, making him sneeze. Damn, it's cold tonight. It's worth it. Enduring tonight is definitely worth it. Just wait until tomorrow when she wakes up. When she sees her wounds are better, she'll know that what I put on her today wasn't to torture her, but to help her recover. This way her corruption points will definitely drop quite a bit. Dao Ding spoke up. I forgot to mention the scoring system is divided into 2 parts, favorability and corruption. 5 degrees of corruption points means completion. As for favorability, level 5 is considered a complete conquest. Your score is 10, and after your spending, you have 7 left. He said smugly, what's there to be afraid of? I'm treating Khufu so well. I'll definitely have more points in the bag when I wake up tomorrow. It agreed. That's true. The next day, after the sun had risen, a piercing scream echoed through the house. Damn it. Yuan Ye was both angry and frustrated. What an ungrateful brat. Yuan Ye ran around the house pulling at his hair. This is ridiculous. It's impossible. Yesterday's performance should have been at least a 90, if not a 100. How could I not get a single point? Du Ding comforted him. Host, don't worry. You've made significant progress these past 2 days. You'll definitely capture Khufu soon. Suddenly, an unpleasant smell wafted up and hit his nose. Yuan Ye complained, what a smell, the previous owner was so filthy, he didn't even wash his clothes. If you were Khufu and you saw a handsome, bright, gentle and warm teacher, wouldn't your heart be moved? Then he walked over to the pile of clothes and rummaged through it for the necessary items under Du Ding's gaze. And then as excited as if he were charging into battle, Yuan Ye declared, time for a bath. Du Ding announced 1 point used to purchase personal hygiene products. A while later, Khufu heard a noise outside and jumped, whipping her head around. A hand touched the door and slowly pushed it open. His face peeked in. His new appearance left her stunned. Khufu couldn't believe her eyes. She covered her face with one hand and pointed, asking, You're Yuan Ye? He replied smugly, what do you think? Surprised, aren't you? Just then, she backed away, putting distance between them, which stunned him. Why did you suddenly move so far away? It warned danger. The corruption points are starting to fluctuate again. He was devastated. No way. But I already took a bath. I may not be exceptionally handsome, but I'm at least better than average. On what grounds is she getting more corrupted? Du Ding warned. According to the system's calculations, her corruption points will increase by 0.001 points per minute. Host, think of a solution quickly. Yuan Ye calmed himself down. That's right. If a beautiful woman suddenly threw herself at me, I'd definitely think something was up. That must be it. And so he slammed his hand hard against the door, making a loud noise. He quickly switched to an insolent expression. Why are you still wearing those rags? Didn't I tell you to put on the new clothes? What's wrong? You don't like the clothes I gave you. Look at you putting on that face after just one word from me. Model. What rotten luck. Are you deliberately trying to defy me? If you dress like that, are you trying to make people think I'm cheap? But what he saw was Khufu terrified, her eyes fixed on the ground, not daring to look at him. He watched her tremble, feeling helpless. Her PTSD is really severe. A moment later, Khufu peeked at Nguyen Ap to check the situation. He pointed his finger and yelled again, What are you looking at? Hurry up and change your clothes for me. Khufu stammered, But I have to go make dinner. So Nguyen Ap is complaining about your food. Even a dog would throw up if it ate what you make. You don't need to cook today. Just stay home obediently and reflect on what you've done. He ran off heartbroken. I'm even sacrificing my own charm for this act. How can she not give me even half a point of favorability? Khufu slowly approached the door, peeking her head out to watch Nguyen Ap's retreating figure. Then she looked back inside the house. Where the new clothes were placed, images began to surface in her mind. Him using a staff to protect her in the square, and even the time Nguyen Ap personally brewed medicine and brought it to her. Khufu sat down, pondering. A slave, like me, who saw her master die and didn't save him, then secretly ran away. When I was caught, I could have been beaten to death on the spot. But why didn't he kill me? But instead of giving me such fine clothes, if he wanted to torture me, he could have just whipped me a few times to vent his anger. Could it be that he actually cares about me? Even this wound, looking at it again. It seems better than yesterday. Just then, the devilish personality inside her awoke. You're done for. You actually think a guy who stares at you and beats you every day suddenly cares just because he didn't hit you today? Khufu quickly slapped her cheeks to snap herself out of it. No way. How can a person's nature change just because they got a good beating? He's definitely just found a new way to torture me. A person from the Lee family was never good to begin with. I absolutely cannot fall for his trick. The demon agreed, that's right. You must always be on guard. Never ever trust him easily. Elsewhere, Nguyen Ap stomped his foot on the ground. He sighed. Women, maybe if she changes into prettier clothes and feels happier, her favorability score will go up, right? Dao Ding hesitated. Well, I regret to inform you, sir, that Khufu's corruption score has increased by another 0.03. Hearing this, he collapsed and lay flat on the floor. Only women and petty men are hard to raise. This is impossible. I give up. The system comforted him. Don't be like this. If we don't do this, we'll both die. Nguyen Ap put on a thuggish expression. Little girl, you are unlucky enough to run into a big boss. Serve your boss well. And this boss will grant you a swift death. He turned to Dao Ding with a bright smile. So, was that performance evil enough for you? Dao Ding replied helplessly. It was enough. He flipped his hair and struck a pose. To keep my character from breaking this young master has to try so hard. Does anyone even know? Dowding cheered, hang in there for survival. It encouraged, hang in there for survival. When he got home, he yelled, his voice echoing through the house. The big boss is home. Where's everyone? Did you drop dead somewhere? Kuk Fu timidly pulled back the curtain and answered, I'm here. Nguyen Ap slowly approached his heavy footsteps, echoing. He yelled as he dropped the pile of wood in his hands. Go take a bath and change into the clothes I bought you. Quick, all day long. You're just sloppy and messy. You've completely ruined my reputation. Or what, you don't like the clothes I picked for you? She quickly knelt to pick up the firewood, stammering an explanation. That's not it. Nguyen Ap cut her off with a snort. Who told you to pick up that firewood to burn? If your wound opens up, I'll have to waste more money getting it treated. The pitiful Kuk Fu looked up and asked, then what should I... He threw the firewood into the stove and ordered, first just go and get yourself clean. Get squeaky clean for this great master. She trembled, not daring to look him in the eye, her body shaking slightly. I'll go now. Inside, she thought, as expected, he's still the same old Ling Nguyen Ap. And here I was, hoping he might have changed for the better. He'll never change. Nguyen Ap slowly carried the boiled water and poured it into the tub. Then he stepped back and looked at Kuk Fu. Go on, bathe. Other people's female slaves have hotter bodies than you, prettier faces, and are way bolder and more daring. I could just casually find one of them to feast my eyes on. Who would even want to look at you? Dowdin remarked, the host? You don't look like you're acting at all. Nguyen Ap started to walk out. Hurry up and bathe. But inside, he anxiously asked the system, is that so, really? Doubting swore it was true. Kuk Fu fell silent, not knowing what to say. With a troubled heart, she began to remove her clothes. Piece by piece, her underwear came off as she told herself to go take a bath, her long, slender feet. Her smooth white skin slowly touched the water. She soaked herself, puffing out her cheeks, her mind racing with random thoughts. Okay, could it be that tonight he wants... Meanwhile, he was tearing his hair out. Kuk Fu is so difficult to deal with. And the other 6 are no easier to deal with. Plus, we can't let them know about each other's existence and our relationship from the very beginning. Otherwise, there's a risk they'll darken even faster. This is a completely deadly question. It understands. To maintain world peace, I can only be ruthless. Yuan Ye looked up at the sky and lamented, I thought transmigrating into a book meant I'd get to defy the heavens, not suck up to people. Hearing this, Dowding made calming gestures with its crab-like hands. Host tried to think about it from another angle. After you've conquered them, you'll have 7,000 HP warriors. Isn't that welcome enough? He immediately perked up again. Right. Sucking up is the path I must walk. I have bigger, grander goals. As night fell, Kuk Fu's timid voice echoed from inside the house. I am done bathing. Yuan Ye's eyes widened in astonishment at her appearance. She looked lovely in her new clothes. Is it strange? She blushed shyly, not daring to look him in the eye. Outwardly, Yuan Ye was indifferent. It's passable. But inwardly, he was screaming, I want to tempt her more, earn more points, and buy her more clothes. When that time comes, the nurse uniform, the police uniform, and the yoga outfit will all make an appearance in due time. Hearing this, Kuk Fu became dejected. Is he not pleased? He let out a long yawn. I'm going to my room to rest for a bit. When you're done cleaning up, come in and watch over me while I sleep. Remember to protect your master well. She perked up again, nodding eagerly. Yuan Ye suddenly grabbed Kuk Fu's face and yelled, if I wake up in the middle of the night and you're not in the room, I'll strip you naked and throw you onto the bed. She panicked and said loudly, I understand. Yuan Ye let go of her and turned to leave. That's more like it. Dowding reported the darkening has stopped. Excellent. The act really worked. Our way of thinking was right. He instructed, just leave the bucket and those other things there. Don't move them. If you mess around and make your wounds worse, I'll have to spend money to call a doctor for you. Do you understand? Kuk Fu stared at the door in front of her thinking, so he's only afraid of me getting hurt or dying because he's afraid of spending money. Her heart was heavy with thoughts. But this is fine too. Even though I can't escape, at least my life is safe. And life isn't as hard as it was before. Yuan Ye and Dowding cracked the door open to peek. Dowding announced, Congratulations, host. The darkening points have decreased significantly. The reward is 10 system points. The store has reached level 2 and more products have been added to the shelves. Hearing this, he emotionally hugged it. All right. Dowding also shed tears and praised him. That was beautiful. Just keep doing it this way. And you can earn Kuk Fu's favorability. Suddenly his expression changed, becoming more infatuated. Li Yuanye recalled her image and let out a soft, relieved sigh. Silly girl. I'm not the same Li Yuanye I was before. One day she'll know that I genuinely want to see her smile and make her happy. As night slowly fell, wind slipped through the cracks of the wooden door. Yuan Ye was lying with his head on his arm, a pained expression on his face lost in thought. He sensed something and cracked open an eye. To his surprise, Kuk Fu was taking off her clothes. He shot up in a panic, his cheeks flushing red. What are you doing? Kuk Fu clutched the hem of her clothes, flustered. Didn't you say it, that I was to sleep with you? Hearing this, he scrambled in fear to the head of the bed, putting distance between them. Yuan Ye pinched his nose. Since when did I tell you to sleep with me? Inwardly, he thought, why is my nose so hot? Am I so embarrassed I'm about to get a nosebleed? Suddenly doubting warned, "Oh no, darkening points increased by 0.001. Hearing this, he yelled, "I give you an inch and you take a mile, huh? Why don't you take a look in the mirror? Look at you. You're nothing but a bag of bones right now. Only dogs like to chew on bones." Got it. Inwardly, he was panicking. "I'm a proud, upstanding man. How am I supposed to resist a woman throwing herself at me? Are you kidding me? I'm not a eunuch. Is this some kind of joke? Things have to be done in order." She turned her face away and asked softly, "But Master's attitude recently, didn't it seem like you wanted..." Yuanye scratched his head in frustration and got out of bed. "Are you interpreting this on a corporate level or something?" Q Fu wondered. "Corporate level? What's that?" He pointed straight at her face and scolded. "You sleep on the bed. I'll sleep on the floor. Whoever sleeps there. Don't piss me off." Then before she could react, he pushed her onto the bed. Kufu was bewildered. I sleep on the bed." He clutched his aching hip in annoyance. "You jinx. You scared me so bad, I almost fell over backwards. This bed is too soft. I'll sleep on the floor tonight." In his heart, he thought differently. Even though I'm not a eunuch, if I don't handle this correctly, her darkening points will max out. She reached a hand out towards him, asking, "Then tonight, are we still..." He snapped in frustration. "Still nothing. We're not doing anything. Shut up and go to sleep." With that, Yuanye flopped onto the floor, turned off the light, and pretended to be asleep. On the bed, Kufu couldn't help but feel happy. "This is great, he's asleep," she thought. "It's strange. Why do I feel so at ease sleeping like this today?" Then she slowly closed her eyes and fell into a deep dream. In the dream, a huge forest fire was raging. The demon beasts were screaming in chaos. "Run, don't look back, just run for your lives." Back then, Kuk Fu ran away, tears streaming down her face. But then she was struck by an arrow that pierced right through her. She collapsed lying in a pool of her own crimson blood as it seeped into the ground. After that, she was captured and imprisoned in an iron cage. The crowd pointed and jeered at her. Her face was covered in bruises with wounds big and small, but Kuk Fu could only grit her teeth and endure it. In the present, her body trembled and curled up in response to the nightmare. Noticing something was wrong, Nguyen Up sat up, annoyed. "Kuk Fu, are you all right?" Ding reminded him, "It's very difficult to wake someone from a nightmare." As he got up and walked over to her, it asked, "Can you see what's happening in her dream? Is she dreaming about her past? If that's the case, I need to get a clear picture." It refused. "I can't, but her corruption score is starting to rise again and it's not showing any signs of stopping." He crossed his arms, looking at her face to assess the situation. A girl who carries the noble bloodline of the Fox clan. Sold into slavery and forced to endure humiliation and abuse since she was a child. It's actually pretty easy to guess what she's dreaming about. He gently wiped a tear from the corner of Kuk Fu's eye. In the original novel, Kuk Fu's Fox clan powers were partially sealed because of the severe injuries she suffered as a child. That's why everyone was able to bully her. He glanced at Kuk Fu's leg. The wound still hadn't completely healed. Nguyen Ap quickly opened the first aid kit and gently applied ointment for her. Applying more medicine should help it heal faster. Nguyen Ap's expression was incredibly serious, clearly showing his gentle care. Even in her sleep, her body's instinctive reaction was to endure. She was woken up by a sharp pain shooting from her calf to her brain. She thought to herself, "What is he doing to me? It hurts so much. Oh, during the day he forces me to eat, and at night he deliberately gives me the better bed. Is he trying to make me lower my guard just to poison me?" Her eyes blazed red. "If you want to kill me, just do it. Why do you have to be so roundabout?" She slowly pulled out a hidden object. This pain is enough to wake the dead. But once he was done, Nguyen Ap quickly rolled over and fell asleep completely still. Kuk Fu moved closer, holding a glass shard to his neck. "If you're going to torture me in my sleep, and then don't blame me for what happens." Huh. Suddenly she felt a strange sensation. It spread through her body. "It's so itchy." Kuk Fu's wound was slowly closing. She froze her hand, stopping midair. "That's right. What did he say earlier? Something about this being very painful." Kuk Fu's affection level has increased. This is medicine. The next day, as morning sunlight filled the room, Ding yelled, "Stop sleeping, we have a huge problem. The real male lead has transmigrated here." Nguyen Ap, waking from a groggy sleep, asked, "What do you mean, real male lead, fake male lead?" It explained, "It's Tash Tien, Dewey the male lead from the original novel, My Seven Wives Are All Villainesses. Yesterday, the back-end monitoring system detected an energy fluctuation. After tracing it, we confirmed that Tash Tien Due has transmigrated here." The news hit him like a lightning bolt. The handsome, smooth-talking male lead from the original novel. If he's here, what am I supposed to do? It replied helplessly, "I didn't expect them to move this fast. With the male lead's abilities, he'll catch up to your progress in no time." Nguyen Ap crossed his arms, slowly sizing up the situation. Kuk Fu is already difficult enough to handle. Plus, he's the actual male lead, and I'm the pervert who's supposed to abuse Kuk Fu. This is a real killer of a problem. Ding suggested our immediate priority is to speed up the process of winning over Kuk Fu. He retorted, "You can see for yourself." "Lad, we can't rush things with Kuk Fu. It'll just backfire." Ding fretted, waving its hands around frantically. "But what if the male lead completes his mission of winning over all 7 female leads before we do? will be directly eliminated by the main system. Hearing that, Nguyen Ap rubbed his chin deep in thought. Suddenly an idea struck him. No, actually, after thinking it through, there's no need to panic. I earned 30 points last night. What does that mean? It means my strategy is working. Slow and steady wins the race. There's no need to panic. I, the guy who was supposed to be cannon fodder, am still alive. That means the plot has already changed. Full of confidence, Nguyen Ap pointed to himself. Anyone who wants to get close to Kuk Fu and change her has to get through me first. It agreed. You're right. I was in such a hurry that I forgot to tell you about the bonus points. He got excited and concluded, I can see that for myself. We just have to take our time. At worst, we just need to be wary of the real male lead. Ding agreed. Meanwhile, Kuk Fu, lying behind him, heard his muttering and thought to herself, he just keeps mumbling to himself. What is he talking about? Just then, Nguyen Ap slowly approached her. She pretended to be asleep. He stroked her head. My good little fox, sleep tight, okay? Be a good girl and wait for me at home. And with that, Nguyen Ap quietly left the house. As his footsteps faded, she sat up with a giant question mark over her head. Good little fox. Meanwhile, out in the wilderness, Nguyen Ap's voice echoed through the windswept mountains. The stormy youth had appeared. He hummed a tune as he plotted, next time I'll bring Kuk Fu here and stage an attack by a wild beast. Then I'll swoop in from above and play the hero saving the damsel in distress. What will happen when she sees I'm willing to risk my life for her? Suddenly, Nguyen Ap felt a cold chill behind him. It made him freeze in place. He whipped his head around and pretended to shout, I see, you show yourself. After his shout, a rustling sound came from the bushes, startling him. A hand appeared as Xiaoyuan's voice called out, Don't attack. We're from the same tribe. She stepped out, waving, friendly. The sound of ghosts wailing and wolves howling in the forest. So that was you singing, or she said, feigning surprise. I saw you at the small square last time. Your name is Li Yuanxi. He greeted back. I thought no one was in the forest, so I just sang a few lines to pass the time. Did I scare you, ladies? Shui Shui whispered, It's Li Yuanji. And Ning replied, It's just someone with the same name, right? Didn't they say Li Yuanxi is an ugly, sadistic scumbag? But he actually looks pretty decent, the young girl agreed. He's even a little handsome. Hearing this, Yuanxi's heart bloomed with pride. You girls could speak a little louder, you know? Xiaoyuan's gaze was sharp. Compared to before, you've changed a lot. She thought with a smile. He's completely different from before. He spoke up. I still don't know your names. They introduced themselves. My name is Xiaoyuan. This is something we just picked. It's very sweet. Ning. Zhang Shui Shui. Yuanxi pretended to refuse. But his hand still accepted it. How could I possibly accept this? She pointed to the basket behind her. We picked quite a lot on the mountain this time. Have a taste, or you can bring some back for the female slave at your home to eat. Xiaoyuan's expression immediately changed. It darkened. He quickly got into character. She's just a slave. What's there for her to taste? She's not worthy. In his heart, it was a different story. If I'm going to act, I have to go all the way. Absolutely can't show any weakness. This is what you call a master actor. Doubting praised, Host, you're being overly cautious. She walked over and patted Shui Shui's shoulder. Let's go. Then Xiaoyuan started to walk away. She turned her head back and said, Li Yuanxi, see you again? He also waved back cheerfully. See you again? But after just a few seconds, the smile vanished from his face. He turned to Doubting and asked, Doubting, is my memory bad in the original novel? Was there a beauty named Xiao Yuan? It replied, You can ask me. At least among the 7 main heroines, you're supposed to woo none are named Xiao Yuan. Right now, you're fair and smooth-skinned. Perhaps it's because of your charming personality that you're attracting other female characters. Yuanxi's expression changed in a flash. He said confidently, Now that you mention it, that does make sense. In the kitchen, Yuanxi was fiddling with the stove. Just making one meal. Why is it so much work? He grumbled. Is all the tinder used up? Now how am I supposed to start a fire? He tossed the tinder aside. Doubting, give me a lighter. Do you have one? Instantly a lighter appeared in his hand. He replied, Of course, -1 point. He looked at the lighter in his hand and said to himself, Let these country bumpkins witness the great invention of the new era. A lighter. Just then Kuk Fu pushed the door open, startling him. I heard you were in the kitchen, my lord. His heart skipped a beat and he quickly stepped on the lighter to hide it, forcing a laugh. Yes, yes. Immediately Yuanxi's expression changed. Oh, right. What the hell does that have to do with you? Hearing this, she replied sadly, I came to cook. He took out a handful of firewood. You cook your meal. This young master is excitedly learning how to make fire. I don't need you to meddle. And then he started rubbing the sticks together, creating smoke. Inside, Yuanxi was screaming, using a fire drill. Isn't this a bit much? I hope her corruption level doesn't increase because I'm losing face. Kuk Fu slowly approached and picked up a stick. Still, let me do it. She gently waved her hand, creating a tiny spark. Suddenly, a flame erupted. Yuanxi was shocked. Holy crap, that's awesome. Kuk Fu looked shy. Although my power hasn't fully recovered yet, her voice was tinged with sadness. I can still summon a small flame like this. He was astonished. Did she just use a power? Can something like this really exist in reality? What about the law of conservation of energy? Yuanxi tugged at her sleeve. That hand gesture you just did, Did Did you have to combine it with some kind of beast language to use it? She replied, no need. You just have to focus your energy and combine it with your will. He was like a child who had just seen a new toy, his eyes and mouth wide with surprise. It's that amazing. So, have you always used this method to start fires? Does your hand hurt from the burns? Hearing this, Khufu replied helplessly, it doesn't hurt. Like a child encountering new knowledge for the first time, he bombarded her with questions. Do you have to pay a price to use this skill? Can I learn it? How do I learn it? Oh, right. Can you only use fire? Can you also use water type, ice type, or feather type or something? This is so cool. It's the first time I've ever seen anything like this. It must be very environmentally friendly, right? With magic, there's no need to develop technology. Khufu was dumbfounded. What is he talking about? Why can't I understand a thing he's saying? Her face flushed. Why do I suddenly find this guy a little cute? But at that moment, the demon inside her knocked on her head, scolding. Are you crazy? To actually think he's cute? Khufu shot to her feet before Yuanshi's bewildered gaze. Don't forget all these years. How he has tormented you. Her face was still red. He's a pervert. It's all an act. Meanwhile, Yuanshi was wondering, how do I gather energy? Doubting replied, you can use points to summon skills. Q-Fire was lost in thought, but he really has been very different these past 2 days. His eyes widened as he yelled, you can summon something like this too. She pondered, her eyes a little sad. Although his attitude towards me is quite fierce, he really hasn't beaten me anymore. She's not humiliating me like before, and she even put medicine on me and gave me the bed. Yuan Ye's eyes lit up like he'd found a treasure shining like stars. So what skill can I buy now? It replied. Currently, you have 46 points. You can exchange 45 points for Danger Forecast, which can warn you of danger 10 seconds in advance. He wondered if he should make the trade. It can only predict 10 seconds ahead. What's the use of that? Doubting added, all skills can be upgraded. Yuan Ye let out an, oh, not too surprised, but it's too expensive for me right now. I'll buy it some other day. Khufu's eyes darted towards him, flustered. Besides, he's actually quite handsome now, and he smells nice. The water in the pot was nearly full, but she didn't stop pouring. Yuan Ye turned around and covered his mouth. Wait a minute, the pot is already full? What is she thinking? Her face keeps flushing red. She must be about to go dark on me. I have to think of something fast. An idea suddenly sparked in his head. Yuan Ye got excited. I've got it. He held out the melon that Xiaoyue had given him, startling her. Khufu, look here. She replied softly. A pink melon. Where did you get this? Yuan Ye explained. This morning, while I was gathering firewood, I happened to run into a girl from our tribe who was picking melons. She gave me a sweet one. She was surprised. A girl gave it to you? In her mind, she thought, he's gotten so much more handsome now. Just going outside is enough to meet girls who give me melons. He grinned smugly. Of course, don't you women like fruit and flowers? But you should save this melon and eat it this afternoon. A great man like me isn't a fan of sweet things, so this is all for you. But instead, she suddenly got angry and slammed the pot lid down. I don't need it. Yuan? Ye was taken aback, sweat dripping down his face. Since when do you get to refuse something I give you? He placed the melon on the table and bolted. It's too smoky in here, I'm heading out. Make sure you cook me a good meal. Once outside, he plopped down on the ground and sighed. Phew, did I run fast enough? The situation is still under control, right? Doding replied, incorrect. The system has detected significant emotional fluctuations from Khufu, but it doesn't seem like she's going dark. He let out another sigh. Well, as long as she's not going dark, that's all that matters. It added, this is strange. What kind of emotion is this? Meanwhile, Khufu puffed out her cheeks, glaring at the melon resentfully. Just because some girl gives you a melon, you think you have to accept it. Will you just take anything from anyone? Yuan Ye stared blankly at the system panel, completely dejected. He grabbed his head in despair, whining, this interface has so few functions and I have even fewer points. At this rate, how am I ever going to level up? Seeing his dejected state, Duding quickly tried to comfort him. Don't worry, once all 7 female villains appear, you'll have more targets to pursue, and points will be easier to earn. Yuan Ye's head shot up, his brow furrowed in agreement. That's right. If I'm working on 7 of them, the points should stack up right. He began to imagine the alluring figures of the 7 villainesses, his face flushing red. The scene immediately shifted, and the 7 villainesses' eyes glinted as they stared him down. Li Yuan Ye prepared to die. Immediately after, he calmly waved away his fantasy. 1 Khufu is already more than enough trouble. Let alone 7 of them. That's not a prize I really want to win. At the tribal square, everyone quickly gathered in front of Elder Sifu. Seeing that everyone was present, he immediately announced in a calm voice, this winter, just like every year, the female slaves will be responsible for picking cotton while the male slaves will be responsible for hunting. All female slaves will be protected by the level 2 warriors of the wolf tribe. Standing behind the crowd, Yuan Ye scanned his surroundings, searching for her. Where's my darling Khufu? He quickly spotted Khufu's figure in the crowd. There she is. Yuan Ye frantically winked at her, trying to get her attention. When Khufu saw him, she pouted angrily. She puffed out her cheeks and turned her head away, which startled Yuan Ye. He was a bit flustered, scratching his head, unsure of what to do. This is so confusing. But I gave her that melon yesterday. Yuan Ye watched the heavily guarded crowd as Khufu blended in with the group and slowly disappeared from view. He screamed internally, how much longer do I have to play the villain? He sighed helplessly. Why is winning over a woman so damn hard? It's always so easy to build a harem in web novels. 5 days later, Yuan Ye sat on the ground with his arms crossed, complaining nonstop. The female slaves from the other houses are all back already. So why is there still no sign of Kufu? Aren't you going to give me an answer? If you don't give me an answer, I'm not leaving. Tufug, looking at the boy's disruptive behavior, scolded him helplessly. You brat, why are you still here? I just told you I sent someone to ask for you. Hurry up and go. I have to get home. Winap just laughed gleefully and retorted, So did you get it yet? Where's the answer? He turned away furious and shouted, Someone get over here. Hearing his rage, Xuantai hurried over. Elder, you called for me. What is it? Tufuk's voice rang out full of suspicion. The female slave named Kufu from his household, she still hasn't returned. What happened? The man looked a little guilty. He lowered his eyes and timidly explained, What does this have to do with me? She has a solitary personality and was ostracized by the other female slaves, so she could only pick cotton in a corner by herself. His next words immediately startled and angered Nguyen-ap, who was standing beside him. And then she disappeared. I heard the other female slaves say that the Dark Clan kidnapped her. He lunged forward, grabbed the man by the collar, and roared furiously. She was taken, and you didn't say anything sooner. Aren't you guys supposed to be protecting the female slaves? Being yelled at like that, Xuantai flew into a rage and screamed back. I was there to supervise and make sure they weren't slacking off. She brought death upon herself. If she wandered off, how is that my problem? Besides, she's just a slave. If she's dead, we can just buy another one. It's not like she's some rare item. Winap couldn't stand the way he talked. He lost his cool and punched the man in the face. What kind of bullshit is that I'm going to beat you to death, you useless piece of trash? You couldn't even protect one person. Xuantai was not one to back down, and the two of them started brawling. The people outside saw the scene and couldn't help but start gossiping. Looks like Tufuk left. The Lee family didn't contribute anything this winter. No wonder he's so angry. He rushed to stop them. Stop fighting, stop fighting. The girls started gossiping. From now on, we'll have to do everything ourselves. After all, there's no way that kid can afford a second female slave. Just then, a large hand intervened, forcefully pushing his shoulder. Ling Wenap was shoved back. A firm voice said, Kufu was kidnapped, not killed. His eyes were resolute and incredibly serious. I will definitely find her and bring her back. When everyone heard this, they couldn't help but snicker and whisper behind his back, Ling Wenap, isn't she just a female slave? All this passion. I thought you were trying to become a king or something. Inside Ling Wenap's house, Duding saw his dejected look and spoke up to comfort him. Although your appearance has changed the plot, JK, the part where Kufu gets captured remains unchanged. Its mechanical voice continued, As long as we rescue Kufu from the original male lead, Shitianrui, we will gain the upper hand. It reassured Nguyen-ap. He picked up a wooden stick, a faint smile on his face. Got it, don't worry. Outside the city gates, groups of people were gathering. Tianrui observed the market area as he asked quizzically, You just said you detected another system. City, it says. In this world, who is it? Hearing his question, Shuaiding replied with great confidence. Responding immediately, I am temporarily unable to identify it. His eyebrows suddenly furrowed together as he mused, Kufu's useless master that Ling Wenap, he was supposed to have died a few days ago. And yet he's still alive. Do you think it could be him? Shuaiding seemed to cover its mouth, laughing with glee and calculation. Master, rest assured, even if it is him, there's nothing to be afraid of. It's normal for a minor cannon fodder character to deviate from the expected path. There are others with such deviations. He's not the only one. The main plot of the entire book still revolves around you, the protagonist. Hearing this, Tianrui's mood immediately brightened. He was filled with confidence. Who was afraid of him? Once I rescue Kufu, I'll take her all over the world, far away from her old master, who only knew how to bully her. I wonder if she'll be moved by me and become a docile little lamb. Shuaiding excitedly followed behind him, chattering nonstop. The fact that Ling Wenap constantly beat and abused Kufu has indirectly helped you conquer her. Looked at this way. You truly are the chosen one. At that moment, inside Nguyen Ap's wooden house, he sneezed. He was both angry and confused. Who the hell is cursing me? Right after he shrugged it off and started organizing his bags, Nguyen Ap sat there annoyed with the bags. Deep inside a dark forest, a faint light emanated from a cave, illuminating the surrounding area. Kufu, covered in wounds, was tied up, her face pale with pain. When a race commits a grave sin, they receive divine punishment and their people become the Dark Clan, abandoned by the gods and the light. The members of the Dark Clan are not accepted by any other race. They can only wander forever immersed in a darkness where the sun never shines. A girl knelt in front of her, rubbing her stomach and whining pitifully. I'm so hungry. Ngoklan's eyes suddenly lit up with excitement. She stared intently at the clothes on Kufu. At her slender waist, peeking out from under her torn clothes, seeing Kufu's struggling appearance, Ngoklan let out a hoarse laugh. This won't do. Are you starving to death? She held a sharp knife in her hand and slowly approached Kufu, whispering, Boss, how about I cut off a piece of meat to taste first, just to fill my stomach? Tang Ha suddenly appeared just in time to stop her. What's the rush? I knew it was you. But first you'll have to bear with me. Tang Ha casually played with the knife in her hand, not even looking at Kuk Fu, as she mused. This little wench will be much more pleasant to look at later if she's alive. Tang Ha gently caressed Kuk Fu's face with the cold blade. She slowly moved the knife down, causing the top button of her shirt to pop open. Tang Ha seemed a little excited as she did this. What kind of treasure have we caught this time? Such delicate skin on that part of you that juts out. Ah, using a dinner knife on it would be a waste of a God-given gift. Her blade never left her chest as she moved closer. Her tone was a bit condescending. Let's have a sniff. It's been many years since I've smelled flesh this clean. When I was young, I also had a beautiful face, like hers, and a fragrant scent. Her face twisted into a demonic smile as she looked at Kuk Fu, but in contrast, Kuk Fu acted indifferent and unconcerned. Suddenly a red flame appeared before her eyes. It blazed brightly in the dead of night. Tu Fu quietly listened to the elder's lecture. The Dark Clan hides and wanders outside the city all year round, yet you set out alone at night, not even bringing a single tribal warrior with you. How is that any different from seeking death? Nguyen Ap paid no mind to his words and decisively turned to leave. If you're talking about the kind of warrior I beat black and blue this morning, then I think we'd better just forget it. Tu Fok didn't give up. He grabbed the boy's tense hand and continued, You don't normally like Kuk Fu. Why would you risk yourself for her? Nguyen Ap frowned a little annoyed. Elder, I have my reasons for having to save Kuk Fu. Hearing this, Tu Fuk was a bit stunned. What reason? Tell me. Seeing Tu Fuk's explosive demeanor, he couldn't help but think to himself, to better fit my persona, I should make this reason as vague as possible. Then Nguyen Ap arrogantly explained, Huk Fu is my slave girl. If she gets defiled by those men from the Dark Clan, how could I ever show my face again? Hearing this, the elder flew into a rage and roared, You brat! You're usually so unreliable and now you're pulling this stunt. If she dies out there, who's going to know what happened? As if not seeing the elder's furious expression, Nguyen Ap whispered, What do you know? A man lives for his reputation. A tree lives for its bark. Eileen Nguyen Ap would rather die than let a slave girl of mine become a laughingstock. He shoved Tu Fuk away in his frustration. Fine. Mind your own business. If you get in my way again, I'll hit you too. Just as he turned to leave, the elder couldn't help but shout urgently, I'm only trying to convince you to come back because your father and I were best friends. I never expected you to be someone who values face more than their own life. Lee Nguyen Ap, if you don't have the money to buy slaves, your uncle will provide for you. You can pick any slave girl from my house. You get back here right now. Nguyen Ap paid him no mind, coldly retorting, I decide my own business. He was a little surprised by Tu Fuk's actions, silently thinking, I never expected this elder to be so kind-hearted. Someone like the original owner, and there's still a person who cares whether he lives or dies. Just as Nguyen Ap left the camp gate, a trail of crimson smoke began to follow him. He felt a chilling atmosphere. Nguyen Ap's face paled. He quickly spun around and shouted, Who's there? But there was no one. The area was shrouded in silence. Dao Ding immediately reminded him perhaps you should switch to the danger prediction feature. In a situation like this, it's basically a life-saving tool. Nguyen Ap hesitated, whining 45 minutes is way too expensive. I'll be completely broke after I buy it. He was so focused on the system panel that he didn't notice the demonic aura approaching him. Can it be any cheaper? Instantly, the gloomy smoke swarmed in. It enveloped Nguyen Ap's entire body, terrifying him. What is this thing? Nguyen Ap's body instantly vanished into thin air. The bright moon continued to silently illuminate the quiet nightscape. Inside a dark and mysterious cave, Nguyen Ap slowly came to his head, aching slightly. He cursed to himself. The faucet, is it acting up again? Hey, one of you guys from the dorm, go check on it. Suddenly, he snapped out of his daze and yelled, Wait! That's not right, I'm screwed. Nguyen Ap shot up, looking around the unfamiliar space in confusion. Where is this startled? He panicked and yelled, Dao Din, where are you? Dao Ding. Just then, Dao Din appeared beside him and explained, Congratulations, prize winner. You've been captured by our second female villain. Nguyen Ap was baffled. The second female villain, is she from the Dark Clan? Dao Din confirmed, no doubt about it. It's her. Dao Din's voice trailed off as footsteps approached from outside. Listen, she's here. Good luck, host. Terrified, Nguyen Ap screamed frantically, I'm so dead. There isn't even a hole big enough for a dog to crawl through. His eyes widened in terror. Why do I get the feeling she's running over here? Suddenly, Nguyen Ap was shoved by a woman. His mind reeled as he looked at Thin Song's beautiful face. It's the super strong, cool, older sister type that I love. Nguyen Ap secretly touched her hand, cautiously testing the waters. Wait a minute. You're very beautiful, and I really don't want to refuse, but he couldn't help but wonder, aren't you supposed to be the main female villain? Why is she so enthusiastic? Ting Song pressed herself against Yuan Yi, her voice full of seduction. Wake up, it's time. I want to have your baby. The words struck him like a bolt from the blue, leaving him stunned. Her slender hands began pulling down Yuan Yi's clothes. He scrambled up in a panic, backing away quickly. Having a baby, that depends on the right time, the right place, and the right person. Yuan Yi, extremely anxious, stammered out an explanation. We don't know each other. Can we cultivate our feelings first?
Deep down, he told himself, how could I forget?
My mission is to find Khufu following the plot's progression. If Khufu suddenly appears and her blackening index or whatever, she probably won't spare me. Duding sensed the danger, its mechanical voice urgently announcing, "Danger, her blackening index is starting to rise." Yuan Yi gave a faint, helpless laugh. "Great, there's still someone here whose blackening index is rising." He fell into a panic as he saw Ting Song approach again. Yuan Yi grabbed her shoulders tightly, shouting in fear, "I know you're in a hurry right now, but please don't rush. When it comes to having a baby, I'm even more anxious than you are. Just listen to me for 2 sentences." She looked up at him bewildered and full of questions. "Having a baby? You're in a hurry too." Yuan Yi turned his face away a little embarrassed and explained, "What I mean is having a baby is a specialized skill, so why don't we study the theory first before we practice?" Ting Song thought it over seriously, then retorted, "I want to try practicing. My parents were together for just one night and then they had me. If I just need to be with you for one night, then I'll have a baby very soon too. To go to sleep, you have to take off your clothes. I understand." Then she reached out and shoved Yuan Yi backward. He fell onto the stone floor, ceaselessly trying to explain and stop Ting Song. "Do you have any other brothers or sisters in your family? Your parents surely didn't plan on having just one child, right? Have you ever wondered why you're the only one in your family?" Ting Song froze when she heard his question. "That's right. Why did my parents only have me?" Yuan Yi finally let out a sigh of relief and continued to explain. "Therefore, but having a baby requires the right time, the right place, and the right people. All 3 are indispensable." He couldn't help but hug his knees and cry internally. "I'm saved," he screamed in his mind. "If she really has a baby tonight, and I have to go back and face both Khufu and Deng Ting, this mission will be a total failure. If we're going to have kids, it has to be 7 of them. After all, the female villains have met each other." Duding happily agreed. "Correct. In the early stages, you absolutely must not let the female villains know of each other's existence." She moved closer, leaning against him curiously. "So what do you mean by the right time, the right place, and the right people?" Yuan Yi answered very carefully. "Your parents love each other very much, don't they?" He thought annoyed. What a headache. Where do I even begin? Ting Song thought for a moment, then replied, "That's right. My parents love each other more than anyone in the world. If it weren't for their statuses, they never would have been able to be together." His face suddenly lit up as if he'd discovered something. "Then that's it. Only people who truly love each other can have children together. See? We've only just met. Shouldn't we cultivate our feelings a little first?" Yuani's voice was a soft whisper in her ear. "When there are feelings, a man's spirit is invigorated. Without emotions, he's like an overripe banana, limp and weak." She quickly took notes. Invigorated spirit, limp and weak. Ting Song stared at him with an excited, worshipful expression. "I really didn't choose the wrong person. You know so much." She moved closer, pressing against him with the intention of kissing him. "I must have the world's most beautiful baby with you." This action from Ting Song Dictat made Yuan Yi blush bright red with embarrassment as she climbed on top of him. He shouted, "Did you not hear a single word I just said?" She hugged him tightly and replied, "I like you." Ting Song whispered softly, "The last time I saw you protecting that female slave, I already liked you a lot." Seeing this scene, Duding was horrified. It screamed helplessly, "What is happening?" Ting Song, full of enthusiasm, repeated his earlier words. "It's okay if you like me a little less. I like you twice as much, so when you add it all up, doesn't that mean our affection is about the same?" Immediately after, she released a wave of dark energy. Yuan Yi, now bound, tightly shouted in terror, "What are you doing?" Ting Song reached out and removed the cloak of her outfit. She said calmly, "Making a baby, of course. Now hurry up and teach me." In a dimly lit cave, Ting Song was getting intimate with Yuan Yi. She struck a seductive and enchanting pose. His hand was on Ting's plump bottom. Yuan Yi, blushing, reminded her, "Hey, it's not right for a girl like you to force herself on someone. First you need to retract this dark aura, and at the very least you should let me be on top." She teased, "Your face is red. When a man blushes, it means he's turned on." He screamed in his mind, and yet at this moment, I'm suddenly hating the pleasure of being on the bottom. Damn it all. Ting Song pinned Yuan Yi down and teased, "Are you shy?" "Don't be afraid, I'll be gentle and try not to hurt you." His face was so red that his nose started to bleed. Yuan Yi retorted, "You've misunderstood. I don't need any gentleness. Just get off of me first." He lamented internally, "I'm afraid my primordial power is about to erupt." She spoke, captivated and alluring. "Your body is so warm. I love the temperature of your skin too." After that, Ting Song leaned down to kiss him, leaving Yuan Yi completely surprised. Isn't she supposed to be a female villain? Do I even need to flirt with her anymore? Dao Ding jumped up to remind the host not to be mesmerized by her appearance. Reminded by it, he sobered up a little. Her full breasts touched Nguyen Ap's skin as she slid her fingers across his neck. "My mother already taught me. The best time to have a child is when desire is at its peak." Ting Song then uttered a few words. "I feel that tonight I will definitely conceive your child." Nguyen Ap covered his face, embarrassed. "You know even more than I do." He silently counted in his head. "As a man, I must endure for 30 seconds. 30, 29.9, 29.895. She lightly licked Nguyen Ap's neck with her tongue. The last bit of sobriety Nguyen Ap had was about to vanish. After that, he returned her passionate kiss. 13. I'm about to commit a crime. During the heated moment, Dao Din appeared again, continuously warning, host, stop with Dang Tin Song's personality. Yeah, if you get her pregnant tonight, you will definitely be locked up until she has the baby. Furthermore, once she's pregnant, do you think that as the child's father, you can still just walk away and reform the other female villains and complete the mission? No. Nguyen Ap suddenly pulled back, pondering. She might have heard that some things look strong, but are actually fragile. What if I just break? Then you'll have to take full responsibility. Tin Song was bewildered by his sudden coldness. Dao Din reminded him, I know it's tragic to be in front of such beauty and be unable to do anything, but think about the consequences if the mission fails. Remember why you came here. Kok Fu is still waiting for you to save her. Nguyen Ap replied coldly, All right, don't say any more. Let me think of a way. She asked in a soft voice, Did I bite you too hard? He lamented in his head, So what do I do now? I'm here all turned on, and now I have to just stop. But she's obsessed with mating. When an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, what could possibly stop her? Suddenly an idea struck him. I've got it, Nguyen Ap mused. There's a line in the original text that says the Dark Elves have a poison that absorbs life force during mating, right? If they don't get their fill, could the mating process be fatal? She likes me this much. And she definitely wouldn't want me to die. If she can't bear to see me die, she won't want me to starve to death. So right now, if I just say one thing, there's a chance of survival. He shot up and demanded, I'm hungry, I'm starving. Tin Song realized, I forgot. I brought you back but haven't fed you yet. I'm sorry that was careless of me. I almost killed you. Dao Din praised. Host, that was a brilliant move. She stood up and instructed, Wait here, I'll get something for you right away. After that, Tin Song left, leaving Nguyen Ap alone. He fumbled to sit up. Can't delay, let's run. It said, if we run, when Dang Tin Song comes back and finds you've escaped, her blackening score will instantly jump to 100%. Nguyen Ap asked worriedly. Then what do we do now? We die if we run and we die if we don't. Dao Din reassured him, don't rush, calm down first. He urged, hurry up, help me sort this out. Is there any breakthrough in the original plot related to Dang Tin Song's past? Just then, outside. She was facing a tiger. It growled fiercely and charged at Tin Song. She nimbly threw a punch in response. Tin Song reached out and broke a dry tree branch. Then she said coolly, I won't play with you today. Let's make this quick. I still have to go back and feed my man. A moment later, she dragged the dead tiger back to the cave. I'm back. I've hunted a big fat tiger for you. Do you want the leg or the back? I'll give it to you. But Tin Song's expression suddenly changed. By the riverbank, Nguyen Ap was sitting and singing while fishing. The girls behind him were whispering nonstop. He looked at the fish he had just caught at his feet, wondering to himself, what is it? What are they talking about? Dao Din explained. The fat one on the left says you're a bit too skinny, that your meat is too dry and not tasty. The shorter one on the right says your butt is big and fatty. It's best when roasted. Nguyen Ap said annoyed. What kind of perverted talk is that? It reminded him, in short, they're targeting you. He glanced behind him and said, One isn't enough to fill me up. I plan to catch another one. Meanwhile, Nguyen Ap's hand searched for the fish on the ground. Then he bolted and shouted, You're the ones I'm fishing for. Nguyen Ap ran, like the wind, with those girls chasing behind him with weapons. He thought to himself, this world is too dangerous. I have to speed up the process of reforming these female villains. If I don't earn more points to exchange for skills, my little life will be forfeit sooner or later. Dao Din said, Stop talking. They're getting closer and closer to you. They're only about 13 steps away. Nguyen Ap lamented. The forest of the Dark Elf tribe is truly an inhuman place. I don't want to die here. Just then, his foot accidentally caught on a log and Nguyen Ap fell face first to the ground. It announced worriedly, Danger, 9 more steps. They've caught up. The fat woman had already pulled a scythe from her belt. He broke out in a cold sweat, terrified. I'm done for. Done for. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. It kept counting. 7 steps. 6 steps. 3 steps. Yuan Ye's face turned pale. He propped himself up on the ground and asked in a daze, The scythe? It already cut me. Yuan Ye's heart pounded anxiously. Quick, tell me. Didn't my lower body just get sliced off and fall to the ground? I don't even dare to look down. Ding Ding chirped. Well then, just turn your head and look. He trembled as he turned his head to look. A horrifying scene unfolded one by one. The bodies of the people chasing Yuan Ye fell to the ground. Ting Song appeared and asked in a cold voice, Did you leave the cave to meet them? She looked at him coldly. The system announced detecting emotional fluctuation disorder in Dang Song Ting. Ting Song's hand, Biak, was still stained with dripping blood. Prediction blackening will accelerate in 3 seconds. Her voice rang out, If that's the case? All Ding Ding had to do was count to 3, 2, 2. Just then he ran and threw his arms around her. Ting Song was taken aback by the action, and then her face slowly turned red. Yuan Ye spoke, I'm so glad you came to save me in time. Ting Song wondered, You, why? He grinned brightly, holding up a fish to show her. Look, this is the fish I caught for you. She asked in disbelief. For me? Yuan Ye placed the fish in Ting Song's hand. A great man like me can't just freeload in the cave. You're so thin. I should be the one taking care of you. That's why I went out to catch fish. She asked, So, you weren't trying to escape? You went out to hunt on purpose? He nodded. Ting Song suddenly hugged Yuan Ye tightly, confessing, I misunderstood you just now. I thought you were running away. I'm sorry. You're the best man in the world. Inside the cave, she said, I wrongly blamed you this time. Don't worry. I'm not weak at all. No matter what happens in the future, I will protect you. He replied, all right. He thought with lingering fear, a moment ago I was actually planning to run. If I had, my fate would have been the same as this tiger's. Ting Song held out a piece of raw meat and said, eat. Yuan Ye was bewildered. This is raw, he cried internally. Help me. I want to go home. Yuan Ye's hand trembled as he slowly reached for the meat. She said expectantly, hurry up and eat. After you eat, we will mate. Yuan Ye took it and said hesitantly, I don't eat raw meat. Ting Song thought eat meat equals mate. Don't eat meat equals don't mate. Ding Ding warned, oh no. She thinks you don't want to mate with her. She's about to go dark again. He quickly explained, I've already reached the age where I can mate. And actually, I'm even more eager than you are. I want to mate even sooner, but if I eat raw meat like this, I'll get diarrhea and fall ill. That would really affect our mating. She asked suspiciously, really, the wolf tribe can't eat raw meat. Yuan Ye raised his hand as if taking an oath. Just give me a little time. We'll cook the meat, and after we eat, we will mate immediately. He pointed to a rock on the ground and said, things are different now. Our tribe stopped eating raw meat a long time ago. If you can just help me drill a hole in the middle of this rock, I can make you a delicious meal right away. Ting Song frowned, annoyed, but agreed. She picked up a sharp piece of rock. Ting Song repeatedly drilled into the rock Yuan Ye had pointed to. Cool spring water flowed out from the crack in the rock. He looked at the seasoning screen and thought, I wonder if the seasoning for this boiled meat will be any good. It guaranteed it would be. Then came the notification, meat seasoning pouch minus 1 point. Meanwhile, she was hugging a pile of firewood, her cheeks puffed out in a sulk. Yuan Ye called out, quick, help me kill this fish, Ting Song thought. Honestly, how much longer until we can start mating? Then he placed the pot of water on the fire. She sat beside him and asked irritably, are you done yet? Yuan Ye gave a strained smile and replied, almost. I promise it'll be quick. He took out a stick from his clothes. Then Yuan Ye's hand slowly moved towards the fire. Ting Song's eyes widened in shock. She started to stand up. Meanwhile, he said cheerfully, chicken egg, duck egg, poached egg. It's almost ready. Hurry up, big bro, Ding Ding warned. Stop singing, you idiot. Turn around and look at Dang Ting Song. At that moment, Ting Song's whole body was trembling. He looked at her strange reaction. Ting Song asked, you're going through all these motions because you want to use the fire to kill me. Suddenly, the fire flared up bigger than before. She immediately recoiled, covering her face with her hands. Yuan Ye perceptibly noticed and asked softly, you're afraid of fire. Ting Song's cold voice rang out. Not eating raw meat was just an excuse. Her voice was filled with anger. You never had any intention of having children with me at all. Doing all of this, was just to find an excuse to kill me when I wasn't looking. He stepped forward worriedly. I didn't even notice, and you've already imagined a whole drama of betrayal in your head. She watched Yuan Ye's movements and retracted her killing intent. He slowly moved closer. Yuan Ye looked at her gently. He slowly placed his hand on Ting Song's. Yuan Ye explained softly, you need to light a fire to heat the pot. Only then can the meat inside be cooked. He brushed her hair aside and coaxed her, saying, let's light a small fire. It'll light up the cave so I can see this beautiful face of yours. Besides, with a fire, I want the cave to be much warmer. Ting Song wondered, could it be he really doesn't want to kill me? He set her down and instructed, if you don't like the fire, just sit here quietly and rest. Just leave everything else to me. After that, Nguyen Ap went to gather firewood by himself. He whispered sweet words to her, you're the most beautiful person here, and picked out chopsticks for her. A moment later, a delicious hot meal was placed on the table. Nguyen Ap picked up some food for Tin Song and said, this steamed fish. You have to start with the belly to get the best taste. The fish belly has no bones, and the meat is the fattiest and most tender. She looked at the chopsticks in Tin Song's hand, who was struggling to use them. He gently instructed her, that's not how you use chopsticks. Here, let me teach you. Nguyen Ap's hand covered hers. He guided her. The index finger and thumb go like this. The two of them stood close together. Nguyen Ap then said, go on, have a taste. Tin Song obeyed and put the food in her mouth. She praised, it's so delicious. He smiled and said, see, I wasn't lying to you, was I? If you like it, eat some more. I'll make it for you again in the future. After that, Tin Song ate like a starved wolf. Du Ding announced, congratulations, host. Dang Tin Song's affection points have increased by 0.5. You have received 30 points. Payment processed. Nguyen Ap was ecstatic. I've got money. Get me the danger prediction module. Dao Ding responded. Order received. Arranging it for you immediately. The danger prediction module has been downloaded for the host. 45 points deducted. He then requested Du Ding pull up the information again. Dang Tin Song's background one more time. It agreed and began to transport Nguyen Ap into a separate space. As you command, the scene inside materialized, filled with the sound of curses. After him, don't let that dark race half-breed escape. Get her, Doding explained. Dang Tin Song is a hybrid of a human and a member of the dark race. She lost her parents at a young age and lived as a wanderer. Tinzong, her face covered in wounds, ran away crying. Her parents were not accepted by humans and were also cast out by the dark race. She has been abandoned and starved to the brink of death many times, giving her an instinctual craving for precious foods. Her difficult childhood made her eat anything she could find. Without any guidance, she acts purely on instinct. As for reproduction for her, it is the greatest desire she developed growing up. She is always in a state of suspicion. Why are you crying? After hearing her story, he cried silently for her. How tragic. Just too tragic. Nguyen Ap quickly wiped away his tears, ran over and pulled Tin Xiong into a tight hug. Listen to me, I'm here now. From now on, I will never let you wander alone again. Her face flushed red as she slowly felt Nguyen Ap's warmth. Du Ding suddenly set off celebratory fireworks. Congratulations, host. Dang Tin Song's affection points +1. You have received 60 points. 60 have been transferred. He was satisfied. Isn't this just a freebie easy? Just then, a fire was lit in this tribal square, and strange sounds were coming from within. One of them spoke up, Cook Fu, stop running around. We've already sent people to look for Ling Nguyen Ap. She questioned them. My master is missing. Are you people trying to harm him on purpose? Hidden behind the crowd. Tien Due watched with his arms crossed, suspicious. The script isn't right. It was clearly my turn to save her. Why did she come back on her own now? What am I supposed to do this time? Suaidin responded, strange. This is very strange. Sparks of fire glowed inside the dark cave. At that moment, Nguyen Ap's hands were being held in a tight grip. He tried to stop her. Calm down a little. Tin Song reminded him, you said after we ate our fill, we would mate. You and I will have many, many children. Nguyen Ap tried to explain, Tin Tin. Do you remember why you were bullied as a child? Do you really want our children to go through that same suffering? Suddenly, her body began to tremble. Tin Song immediately became wary. How do you know about my past? He explained. Your physical features are not like those of the god-punished dark race. You look more like a natural-born hybrid. And since the dark race cannot reproduce, I can confidently say that you are the child of a member of the dark race and another race. This world holds so much malice for your kind. You must understand that better than I do. He told himself, I have to stay calm. I have to convince her to believe me. She suddenly sat up and replied softly, I know. I'm going outside to calm down for a bit. We won't mate. For now. Finally, Nguyen Ap quietly watched Tin Xiong's retreating figure. He let out a sigh of relief. Looks like that's settled. But Du Ding frantically said, settled? What's settled? There's big trouble back home. He listened stunned as it said, Cook Fu's corruption points are skyrocketing. It's nearing the critical limit. Nguyen Ap roared in anger. Why didn't you say so sooner? We have to go back now. Du Ding instructed. It's too late to go back now. I'll teleport you immediately. He cursed. Why didn't you say so sooner? Just do it. It spoke up shyly. The teleportation function requires 50 points. Nguyen Ap pointed angrily. You. Du Ding put on an innocent, I can't help it act. It's the system's rules. He resolved himself enunciating every word. Purchase. Payment. A moment later, a spatial portal to the tribe opened. A hand reached out from the portal that appeared in the middle of the forest. Du Ding reminded him, Host, we've arrived. Suddenly, Nguyen Ap was startled to see so many people in front of his house. He quickly pushed the door open. I'm back. Everyone move aside. I'm back. Nguyen Ap saw her defeating someone else. He was stunned. Cook Fu, I'm back. Are you really okay? Cook Fu let go, asking in a daze, how did you manage to get back? Du Ding announced checking. Cook Fu's corruption points have started to decrease. Nguyen Ap was bewildered. I thought she hoped I'd die out there. She was corrupted to the extreme, but when I came back, her corruption points actually dropped. Just then someone said indignantly, Ling Nguyen Ap, what kind of female slave did you raise? She actually dared to strike a warrior of the tribe? It's treason. He sneered. Your warriors can't even beat a female slave from my house and you still call them warriors. Go eat dirt. The other person got angry and immediately yelled, What did you say? What about you? It's only natural for a slave to protect her master. Cook Fu did nothing wrong. Besides, I was captured by the Dark Clan. Your warriors are useless. You might as well just disband. He walked over, took her hand and said warmly, Let's go home. In that moment, Cook Fu's heart pounded wildly. Her face turned red. Their hands clasped together were incredibly warm. Cook Fu was immersed in happiness, her body growing hot. Du Ding reminded him Cook Fu's affection points increased by 1. I earned another 60 points. Lin Due saw this and was disgusted. That cannon fodder Ling Nguyen Ap still isn't dead. System, did you sync me with a pirated version of the novel or something? Suaidin reassured, It is absolutely the official version, host. Please rest assured. He turned and left. Whatever, forget it. This plot is all wrong. Fine, it's better if I go and win over Dang Song Thin then. According to the novel, I just need to wander in the forest to meet her. All right, let's go right now. Elsewhere in the dark house, Xiaoyuan remarked, Ling Nguyen Ap. He actually managed to escape safely from the hands of the Dark Clan. Her long legs slowly emerged from the darkness. Xiaoyuan was curious. A normal down-and-out young master who can't even lift a finger. How on earth did he escape? Elsewhere. Tufuk was angry. Captured by the Dark Clan, what nonsense. He was clearly just lazing about outside, refusing to come home playing the hero for what? If I ever bother with you again, I'll write my name backwards. At Li Nguyen, App's house, he stood with his arms crossed, his brows furrowed in anger. Meanwhile, Cook Fu was shy, only daring to look down. She worried, why is he staring at me like that? Suddenly, Nguyen App reached his hand out towards Cook Fu. She unconsciously became alert and immediately shot to her feet. He was surprised. What are you doing? Weren't things fine just a moment ago? Why are you so tense now? My heart was in turmoil just now. Weren't things going so harmoniously? How did it turn into this? She said shyly. It's nothing. I'll go cook for you. Nguyen Ap asked, is she so angry? Her face is bright red? Du Ding replied, incorrect. My system shows that her affection level is still slowly increasing. He understood. Could it be? She's actually starting to like me. Interesting. Looks like I'll have to change my strategy. Suddenly it yelped, warning. And Nguyen Ap said tiredly, what is it now? Du Ding responded, the villainess Dang Song, Thin, rushed back to her cave. Residents didn't see you and assumed you ran away. Her corruption points are rising. He sighed, fed up. May I ask who decided that the early stage villainesses of the story can't meet each other? It answered shyly, the novel's author. Nguyen Ap flared up. Can I kill him, 07? The female leads can't even meet face to face. Is this a one-on-one plot? Or a harem? All right, I'll go say goodbye to Cook Fu first. Just in case I suddenly disappear again and she gets corrupted, she'll be harder to coax than anyone. At Dang Song Ting's cave residence, Song Ting lamented. His sweet words were just a way to find a chance to escape. Can't be trusted. None of them can be trusted. She became resentful. You won't escape. You... Just then, Nguyen Ap's voice rang out. Thin Thin, what's wrong? She reacted quickly, immediately turning her head. He said gently, look, I brought you a gift. Song Ting stood there, still dazed and unable to process it. Suddenly she lunged at Nguyen Ap. Song Ting, blushing, proposed, I can't wait anymore. Let's mate and have children now. Song Ting said, I can't wait any longer. Let's mate and have a baby now. Du Ding warned, host, you absolutely cannot give in. If she really gets pregnant, you'll never be able to escape. How will you stop the female lead's corruption points then? Nguyen Ap replied, of course I know. An information panel appeared mate with the villainess agree/disagree. And so he made his decision. Disagree. Nguyen Ap spoke up. Do you know how the Dark Clan and the Wolf Clan mate? But our races are different, so being reckless is very dangerous. She started to hesitate. Mating is dangerous too, Yuan Yi explained. Of course, that's why I first need to know your body's structure. Body structure. What's that? That's not important, Ching Ching. Do you trust me? The naive Ching Ching was quickly lured in. Of course I trust you, he instructed. Before my wolf tribe mates, we have a routine. We call it an appetizer. This is her first time. I just need to give her an experience like a roller coaster drain her mental and physical energy, and I'll definitely be able to control the situation. First, I'll examine the body structure of the dark tribe, so you must relax. She did as he said. I'll relax. Yuan Yi's hand quickly touched her body. An indescribable sensation ran through Ching Ching's body. Ching Ching was bewildered. This is... Yuan Yi announced, this is just the beginning. He continued to perform actions that crossed the line. Ching Ching reacted intensely, hugging his body tightly. Yuan Yi thought a body that has never been explored before is indeed very sensitive. Suddenly he picked her up. Let's go back to the den. Ching Ching, blushing, leaned completely against Yuan Yi. He asked, want to continue? She replied. Even though it feels strange, it's very pleasant. Yuan Yi gently pulled at her clothes with his hand. A while later, he raised his hand to wipe the sweat from his face. Yuan Yi looked at Ching Ching. As expected, she's so tired she fell asleep. Dao Ding praised host, you're quite skilled. And there's good news. The system has detected that Deng Song Ching's corruption points have decreased. Favorability plus 0.5 reward, 30 points. He was overjoyed. My efforts weren't in vain. I'm really exhausted. I need to rest too. The scene shifts back to Li Yuan Yi's house. Kufu was sitting inside, staring at her own hand. Her fingers were trembling unconsciously. Kufu recalled her own violent appearance. From the past, she looked at the sky. My power seems to have grown stronger. Xiao Yuan observed from above. Li Yuan Yi didn't leave the tribe at all today. But how did he just disappear? Her face was curious. How strange. A smile unconsciously formed on her lips, but also really interesting. At that moment, Yuan Yi was slowly starting a fire. Ching Ching lifted her tired body. What happened to me? He replied, you were tired and fell asleep. Are you rested now? She happily hugged Yuan Yi. You're not leaving, he teased. We still have to mate in the future. How could I abandon you? Ching Ching asked doubtfully. Are you really not leaving? He replied, no. I still have to go back to the tribe. Otherwise, my friends in the tribe will worry about me. She protested. No. Yuan Yi smiled reassuringly. What are you afraid of? You know where I am. It's not like I'm running away. Did you like what I did for you? She nodded. I liked it a lot. He asked, do you want more? Hearing Ching Ching's reply, Yuan Yi coaxed her. Then let me go back for a trip. She was still worried, but unexpectedly, he raised his hand to swear. I won't run away. I swear. Ching Ching began to waver, her eyes looking down. She spoke up. Unless you let me mark you. Yuan Yi was surprised. Mark Ching Ching explained after a successful marking. I can track your direction at any time. Only then can I be at ease. He was confused, not understanding. What mark? Immediately she moved closer and pulled down Yuan Yi's collar. Like this. Ching Ching unexpectedly pulled open Yuan Yi's collar. Then she suddenly bit down, leaving a mark. Afterwards, the bite mark disappeared, leaving a faint sigil. Ching Ching spoke. This way I can be tracked. He thought to himself, although being tracked by the female villain is quite dangerous. If I don't do as she says, I feel like it might anger her even more. She continued, this will do. If your life is in danger, I will know immediately. Yuan Yi fell into deep thought. In that case, it's like having an extra layer of protection. Weighing the pros and cons, he hesitated, pointing outside. So, can I go now? Kufu gave a radiant smile and agreed. The two said their goodbyes and promised to meet again. Outside, Yuan Yi thought to himself, first I'll get a little farther away and then use the teleportation. Just one bite, and she's confident enough to let me leave. The more I think about it, the more something feels off. This place is very secluded. I'll just teleport from here. Suddenly, Tianrui's voice rang out. I've been searching for almost a whole day, and it's about to get dark. The novel clearly states that the male protagonist was kidnapped by Deng Songqing as soon as he entered the forest. Yuan Yi realized the male lead has really arrived. He must be here to woo Dongqing Song. He said, forget about her kidnapping me. I've searched everywhere for her, but I can't find any trace of her. I was almost captured by the Dark Tribe too. Host, don't give up. If you keep following the plot, you'll definitely be able to meet Dongqing Song. He analyzed. He must be talking to his system. The plot points involving Shi Tianrui have probably all been taken by me. That's why he can't meet Dongqing Song. That must be it. It's okay. A cannon fodder's life is still alive. You're the male protagonist with an aura you have to keep trying. No, Dongqing Song is nearby. What if I actually run into him? That guy is handsome and has the original system. What do I have to compete with him? Besides, I already gave my first time to Dongqing Song, so she has to take responsibility for me. I can't leave now. I absolutely can't leave. System, take me back to Dongqing Song's cave. Now Daodin appeared. Okay, la master. At that moment inside the cave, Tin Song was constantly complaining, I'm so bored. So bored. She heard something and immediately sat up. There were footsteps. Nguyen Ap approached. Tin Ting, I suddenly remembered something. Tin Song excitedly opened her arms wide. Treasure, you're back. You couldn't bear to be away from me, could you? He decisively hugged her. That's right, I couldn't. I even found a dress for you. I had just stepped outside when I remembered you haven't worn it for me yet. I want to see it before I go. Is that okay? In his mind, today, I absolutely cannot let Dang Tin Song leave this cave to prevent her from meeting the real male lead. Tin Song happily nodded her head repeatedly. Not even a few minutes later, she came out and asked Treasure, this outfit is too tight. Nguyen Ap probed. It's human clothing. Do you like it? She said shyly, I like everything you give me. Meanwhile, Daodin announced, congratulations, host. The system has detected Dang Tin Song's corruption points have decreased significantly. Favorability plus 0.5. Reward 30 points. Plus 30. Tin Song was immersed in her own happiness. She hugged him tightly. I've changed my clothes. Shouldn't you be going now? Nguyen Ap replied, I'll go after I've lulled you to sleep. Tin Song looked aggrieved. You still have to go. A while later, outside was a Tranquet Tin Due who spoke up. No way. It's already dark. I'm afraid we won't be so lucky today. If we run into the Dark Clan again, my points won't be enough. Anyway, the Dark Clan is about to enter its hibernation period. So let's find the other female leads to flirt with first and then go to Dang Tin Song's place. Suaidin agreed. Host is absolutely right. Let's bounce teleporting, presenting the large newbie gift pack. And so and it vanished into space. Inside the cave, Nguyen Ap moved closer to Tin Song. He called out softly, Tin Tin, are you asleep yet? Status screen teleport. Purchase the workplace at the Blood Sweat Workshop. Immediately after, Nguyen Ap silently disappeared. Finally, he returned to his and Kuk Fu's home. Nguyen Ap quickly looked around. Luckily, no one was there. Suddenly, he saw a light on inside the house. Kuk Fu was still awake. Nguyen Ap quickly circled the house. In little Nguyen's eyes, the scene of him appeared. Kuk Fu, I'm home. She was suspicious. He can transform into his human form. He has such high-level magic. Loud noises echoed from inside the house, immediately attracting Nguyen Ap's attention. But when he went inside, it became quiet again. Kuk Fu, in her fox form, slowly opened her eyes. She transformed into a human and asked, Master, you're back. Nguyen Ap wondered, why are you sleeping on the floor? Kuk Fu silently observed. So he went fishing. That's why he's back so late. And he only caught 2? How weak. She spoke up. Dinner is ready. I'll go get it now. He stopped her. Wait. Nguyen Ap commanded, answer my first question. Kuk Fu replied, I'm used to sleeping on the floor. He questioned her, but you clearly prefer the soft bed. Don't think I don't know. Her voice trembled. I know. Sleep on the bed next time. He patted her head reassuringly. Don't be afraid I'm not going to eat you. Kuk Fu wondered to herself, he's being strange like this again recently. Suddenly a vicious look appeared in Nguyen Ap's eyes. Sit still. I'll go get it myself to prevent you from poisoning it. Then he coldly turned his back and left. She stared blankly at Nguyen Ap's retreating figure, stunned. Afterwards, Kuk Fu lowered her gaze. It's fine. He hasn't changed. He's just not as perverted anymore. Daodin announced. Detected female villain Kuk Fu's favorability plus 0.1. Reward 5 points. Nguyen Ap wondered, I really don't understand what this girl wants anymore. It encouraged him, no matter what host, you've become quite skilled at dealing with cook fu. Keep it up, host. Once your score exceeds 150, the system store can be upgraded. He agreed. I don't know what to do now either. His heart was full of confidence. Later, Nguyen Ap brought out the food. Kok Fu, sit down and eat. If you don't, I'll hit you. She agreed. Okay. He warned, eat it all. You're not allowed to be hungry. I hate it when my family goes hungry. You hear me? Kok Fu quickly picked up her chopsticks and replied, understood. The two of them ate dinner peacefully. Suddenly, Nguyen Ap raised his hand to scratch his neck. It's so itchy. At that moment, Kok Fu looked up at him, then suddenly stood up, slamming her hand on the chair. Kok Fu immediately went over and pulled open Nguyen Ap's shirt to check. She quickly flared up. You've been marked. Nguyen Ap could feel she was very angry. Kok Fu recognized it, the Dark Clan. I'm not mistaken. This aura, it's them. He explained I was captured by them and got bitten. But I escaped while they were out hunting. Is there a problem with this mark? Deep down, she seems to really hate this mark. I'll just pretend I don't know. She paced back and forth anxiously. The Dark Clan has its eyes on you now. They'll definitely force you to mate with her. Nguyen Ap felt a pang of guilt. Her analysis was spot on. Suddenly, Kok Fu slammed her hand on the table, startling him. She said seriously, we need to get out of here. Go somewhere the Dark Clan can't set foot. Nguyen Ap asked to leave. Kok Fu explained, if they target you, you'll be treated like a breeding tool until you're completely drained, and then you'll be thrown away. He then stood up and put down his chopsticks. Nguyen Ap asked, if that's the case, then wouldn't you be free? That question left Kok Fu stunned for a moment. Embarrassed, she tried to explain, I just don't want to see someone I know get hurt. That's all. Checking, Kok Fu is having an emotional fluctuation. Is this affection points or dark points? I'm not sure yet. Nguyen Ap smiled and said, I know you're very loyal. That makes me very happy. First sit down and eat. I've been catching fish all day, so I'm exhausted. We can talk about the marking tomorrow. I need to calm her down. I can't let her know anything about what happened with Dang Tin Zhong. As night fell, he gently blew out the candle. Nguyen Ap glanced over at the sleeping Kok Fu, lost in his own thoughts. She seems quite content. Nguyen Ap reached out and touched her. So soft. And I've never tried turning into a wolf myself. Is wolf fur supposed to be coarse? Why does this feel so nice? It makes you not want to stop. She snapped her eyes open. Where is he touching? He thought to himself. This might be a little scummy. But I'm her master, so it'll be a waste not to take this little advantage. Kok Fu felt a flush of heat, thinking, don't touch my tail. If this keeps up, my body's going to feel really strange. Stop touching it. Nguyen Ap was now stroking Kok Fu's tail. Her face flushed bright red. I just can't take this anymore. Kok Fu lifted her head, her breath hot and heavy. She let out a small cry. Nguyen Ap asked, what's wrong? Is it uncomfortable? Suddenly the system announced female villain Kok Fu detected. Affection points plus 150. His eyes widened as he read it. The system smiled at him. Score has reached 150 points. Congratulations, host, for unlocking the upgraded store. Nguyen Ap stared at himself stunned. He could feel himself leveling up. The system interface turned from grey to gold. Level 2, system store. More items are now available. Welcome, host. Please make your selection. Kok Fu slowly walked closer to him. Am I going crazy? And yet, it's so warm when I'm near him. She flopped down in front of Nguyen Ap, thinking to herself, at least for tonight, I'll just sleep close to him. Nguyen Ap looked at her and smiled gently. Good girl, go to sleep. He gently stroked and petted Kok Fu's head, helping her sleep better. The night deepened wind, rustled through the leaves, and everything fell asleep, until the next morning. The night gradually faded. Dawn peeked through the clouds. Sunlight streamed through the window, waking him up. Nguyen Ap slowly opened his eyes, surprised to see Kok Fu, in her human form, sleeping beside him. Nguyen Ap silently watched the soundly sleeping Kok Fu, captivated. He gently stroked her hair, thinking, she really is so well behaved when she's asleep. When she woke up, Kok Fu already had a basket on her back. I'm going out to work with the other house slaves. If you have time, you should go talk to the village elder. And about moving. The Dark Clan is targeting you. If we don't move, you'll be in great danger. Nguyen Ap stood at the doorway. He hummed in agreement and waved goodbye to her. He then spoke to the system. If I leave the tribe and Dang Tin Zhong finds out I'm missing, she'll start overthinking things. But Kok Fu is determined to move. If we don't, the affection points I worked so hard to raise will probably plummet. The system was flustered. Host, you are truly in a dilemma. Nguyen Ap sighed. Women are so hard to please. The system encouraged him. You can do it, host. You'll definitely think of the best solution. He paced back and forth anxiously. What do I do now? Suddenly, Nguyen Ap stopped in his tracks. Number 1, I have to go find Hook. Had a few to talk this over. Moving is a small matter. I need to think about the long-term plan. Meanwhile, outside the tribe in the fruit forest, Kok Fu was focused on picking apples, choosing each one carefully. Lien Due watched her from behind a tree. Today, I will definitely make Kok Fu develop feelings for me. He swiped open his clothing inventory to find an outfit. I need to find a set that looks cool at first glance. The system displayed 2 points. Purchase of Pearl Cosmetics successful. Pearl Cosmetic after equipping Strength Plus 100 for 1 hour. Kuk Fu was still diligently picking apples when suddenly someone called out to her, Miss Kuk Fu. Hearing someone call her name, she turned around. Tien Due, dressed neatly, was slowly walking over. So many fruits. They must be heavy, right? Let me carry them back for you. Kuk Fu stared at him, her face emotionless. Who are you? This is the work of us slave girls. If even our work is taken away from us, then what place would we have left? My lord, you're busy. You don't need to worry about me. The smile on Tien Due's face twisted. He forced a smile, thinking to himself, this outfit is supposed to add charm. So why isn't it working? Maybe she's just really shy and is avoiding me on purpose. Yes, that must be it. Without dressing up, I'm already an 8 out of 10. With these buffs, maybe I'm just too dazzling. From a distance, Nguyen Ap saw the two of them standing close together. He immediately got angry, his face full of irritation. Trying to steal my girl. I can't let this slide. After thinking it over, he quickly wiped his face. Nguyen Ap forced out some tears, putting on a pitiful act. He weakly called out Kuk Fu's name. Hearing him, she turned to see Nguyen Ap approaching her. He put on a pathetic expression. If you already have someone to help you, then I guess you don't need me anymore. Tien Due was utterly confused. He thought, the cannon fodder is here too. Right? A loser like him poses no threat to me. Nguyen Ap sighed and turned to leave. I won't disturb your conversation any longer. I'll head back first. If I'd known, I wouldn't have come out. What a wasted trip. Kuk Fu hurriedly grabbed the hem of his clothes. Wait, I've finished picking. I'll go back with you. His system popped up. Checking favorability of villainous. Kuk Fu plus 0.1. Bonus 5 points. Nguyen Ap walked over to the basket of apples, picked it up, and slung it over his shoulder. The two of them walked and talked while he smiled. All right, I'll carry this. That means you're in charge of making a delicious dinner. Kuk Fu didn't refuse. Okay. Inwardly, Nguyen Ap was gloating. You dare try to steal this young master's girl. So what if you're the male lead? Get lost. They left, leaving Tien Due standing alone in a corner. He was frozen like a statue, his mouth agape, as if he had a million questions. On the way back home, the two of them walked behind the other slave girls. Kuk Fu said, you need to be more careful of that man from before. He clearly knew I was a slave girl, yet he openly stared at me. That's a huge taboo. That man definitely has wicked intentions. Nguyen Ap smiled brightly. I'll remember that. Her cheeks started to blush. Also, don't act like you did just now. He wondered, just now. Kuk Fu avoided his gaze. Yes, exactly like that. If the men in the tribe see that, they'll just look down on you even more. Hearing this, Nguyen Ap immediately thought of his pitiful act. She's talking about me pretending to be weak just now. Suddenly, he put his arm out, blocking her path. Nguyen Ap stepped in front of her. Kuk Fu, are you really not afraid of me? The sudden action startled Kuk Fu a little. What are you doing? Hurry up and move. It's not good if others see us, he smiled. I don't care what other people think of me. Everyone in this tribe already looks down on me anyway. I just want to repay what I owe you. Kuk Fu's face was now bright red. You are the master and I am the slave girl. What is there to repay? She thought to herself, he's really changed. Could it be that his head was damaged from the beating? Nguyen Ap saw 3 stars light up above her head. He mused, she's just a female character in this book. Someone who just needs to be conquered. But Nguyen Ap smiled gently. Kuk Fu, your smile is incredibly beautiful. You should smile more often. He thought, even if there's a day I'm no longer by her side. Hearing the compliment, Kuk Fu's eyes widened. Then she looked away, her face as red as a tomato. Flustered, she hurried forward. Let's go home and eat. Nguyen Ap watched her and smiled. Still let me do it. How about I make you fish cooked in milk? Kuk Fu was still embarrassed. I can't accept something for nothing. Tien Due had been watching the two of them the whole time. His face darkened. If I don't eliminate this cannon fodder character, I'm afraid it'll be hard to change Kuk Fu's mind. This kid, I suspect he's a transmigrator too. His system replied, if he really is a transmigrator, then that's not good at all. Host, you must act quickly. If he conquers both villainesses, we're done for. Tien Due stood in the forest. Winter is coming soon. Some of the women in the dark tribe will be looking for mates. The system asked, Host, what are you planning to do? He gave a skimming smile. When I read the novel, it mentioned this cannon fodder, NPC, is a woman from the dark tribe. Give her a little hope, and she'll do my dirty work for me. Use a borrowed knife to kill. First, I'll eliminate this cannon fodder who's destined to be written off in 3 pages. This will get the story back on track. Right now, at Li Yuan'an's house, the table is filled with a lavish spread of food. A smiling Yuan'an brings a bowl of soup to Kuk Fu. As she's about to taste tonight's soup, a bolt of lightning suddenly shoots past his head. Startled, Yuan'an dodges. Oh God. He drops the soup bowl and stumbles back to avoid the lightning, but Ching, he's a step faster. She gets behind him. Kuk Fu suddenly lunges forward to block the attack for him. Ching, his claws slash deeply into her arm. The force of the blow sends her reeling, but Yuan'an quickly catches her. Kuk Fu, you're hurt. She turns to him. That woman, she's from the Dark Clan. Did she mark you? He immediately replies, no. Ching, he smirks. Tonight you die. She places a finger on her lips. Once you're dead, I can finally live. She thinks back to Tianrui's words, "You kill Li Yuan and I will take you as my female slave. I will give you an identity, as long as the human or beast clan acknowledges you. Oh, then the dark clan can escape its shackles." Qing he had asked suspiciously, "You're not tricking me, are you?" Tianrui had laughed slyly. "I have a request for you. Why would I ever trick you?" Her thoughts ending, she springs towards Kufu and unleashes a barrage of attacks. Qing kicks her, sending her flying into a wall. Yuan An, worried, shouts her name, Kufu. Outside, Xiao Yuan is startled by the noise. The Dark Clan. They actually dare to appear so openly in the tribe. She slowly gathers power in her hands. At that moment, Yuan An is also gathering power. Qing He senses something is wrong and turns around, but it's too late. With a loud crash, she's sent flying into the air, coughing up mouthfuls of fresh blood. Yuan An leaps up, gathering power for another attack. He slams a devastating blow into her stomach, smashing her into the ground so hard that it cracks. Xiao Yuan is extremely pleased. "Haha, Li Yuan, just how many surprises are you hiding from me?" He says nothing, just looks silently at the ground. Yuan An clenches his fist and steps on her. Is Qing He. Ku Fu, watching from behind, is stunned. Her eyes widen. To think he could fight like this. Yuan An glares at her with piercing eyes. "Who sent you here?" Qing He remains silent under his questioning, not saying a single word. He gathers power in his hand and then slashes at her neck. Fresh blood gushes out. It seems she is no longer alive. Yuan An's expression is cold as ice. "If you won't talk, you're useless to me." After dealing with Qing He, he walks over to Ku Fu. He sits down and takes her hand. "Besides your arm, are you hurt anywhere else?" Q Fi is a bit flustered. "When did you learn all this?" Caught off guard, Yuan An avoids her gaze. He thinks to himself, "Qing, he is dead now. In any case, I can't possibly say I just learned it." He recalls frantically using the system to shop screen buying skills. Yuan An, feeling guilty, turns his face away. "The last time I was kidnapped by the Dark Clan, the situation was so dire, I had a bit of an epiphany." Ku Fu is skeptical. An epiphany, she thinks. Could he be some kind of martial arts prodigy? Xiao Yuan, watching everything from a distance, suddenly leaps into a tree. She laughs with amusement. An epiphany, is that even possible? Even the weakest member of the Dark Clan would require a level 2 warrior to be suppressed with such techniques. You can't just claim you had an epiphany and suddenly gain that kind of power. She stares at them, her green eyes glowing in the night. And then there's this Ku Fu. Even though she's injured, she has immense potential. It looks like her inner core must be sealed. I only came to this village because I was injured. I never expected to run into so many interesting things. Uncle Tu and a few soldiers from the tribe come out. Who's out there? What happened here? Why is it such a mess? Yuan An says, looking at Qing He, "Uncle Tu? It was a member of the Dark Clan. She infiltrated the village trying to kill Ku Fu and me." The soldiers surround Qing He. The Dark Clan, Uncle Tu is a bit surprised. They actually dared to sneak in here. Deng Yu steps forward to report the member of the Dark Clan is dead. Uncle Tu looks at him. "Who killed her?" Yuan An speaks up. "I did." The old man is completely shocked. You were able to defeat a member of the Dark Clan. You who usually can't even carry a bucket of water." Yuan An's face is serious. "That's not the priority right now. What matters is figuring out how they managed to get in." He thinks, this is most likely related to Shi Tianrui. I took Ku Fu away right in front of him today. If he doesn't want to be eliminated by the system, then I have to strike first. Ku Fu frowns. "Village chief, I'm afraid there's a mole in the village. It must be that person." "Who let her in?" Uncle Tu says, "Winter is approaching. Logically, they should be hibernating. Unless someone promised them a greater benefit that made them change their plans." Li Yuan An, "Have you offended someone recently?" He casually replies, "Who could I possibly offend? No one even pays attention to me." He thinks to himself, Uncle Tu's brain sure works fast. Ku Fu says seriously, "Do you remember what I told you? The one who was eyeing me, it's almost certainly him." Uncle Tu is puzzled. He knows Ku Fu is your slave. Why would he ignore you and contact her privately? That's breaking the rules. Who is this person? She replies, "A man named Shi Tianrui. I don't think he's from our tribe." The old man furrows his brow. Shi Tianrui. That name sounds familiar. A few days ago, someone joined our tribe claiming to be a temporary resident. Go drag him out here. Dang Du heard the order and nodded in compliance. After half an instant's time, Tien Due was dragged over. He watched Tan Ha's body being carried away. He thought to himself, so that woman from the Dark Tribe is dead. Tu Fuk approached him. "Tien Due Linguian Ap suspects you of trying to harm him. Do you have any explanation?" Tien Due clasped his hands and bowed. "Village chief, if he has suspicions, he must have proof. Otherwise... what reason is there to force a confession without proof?" Tu Fuk thought, this young man's words carry an extraordinary air, not like a criminal's. He looked at him. What you say does make some sense. Tien Due gave a fake smile. "Although I haven't been here long, I've heard that Linguian Ap is lazy and useless, good for nothing except beating female slaves. Last time he was kidnapped by the Dark Tribe, but for some reason, he returned on his own. Has anyone ever wondered how he could come back completely unharmed? Nguyen Ap was furious inside. How dare he turn the tables on me? Now I'm sure he's the one who did it. He explained, I was able to return because I know how to fight, so my luck wasn't bad. Kuk Fu's face turned cold. My master personally beat that dark tribe member to death tonight. Isn't that the best proof? Tu Phuc wondered, is that true? She replied in a firm voice, I saw it with my own eyes. Tien Due immediately noticed the bite mark on Nguyen Ap's neck. Village chief looked like he has the mark of the dark tribe on his neck to be marked and still be perfectly fine. Isn't that hard to believe? Tien Due smirked slyly, his eyes gleaming. He thought to himself, full of holes, you want to fight me? Not a chance. Nguyen Ap was a bit speechless. He thought, I originally planned to convince Kuk Fu to stay a while longer, but now things have gotten complicated. Continuing to argue will only make things worse. He made up his mind and said, Uncle Tu, I was actually going to tell you about this. Kuk Fu and I planned to move to Chandong Mountain to escape the dark tribe's pursuit. Tu Phuc was completely shocked. What? Nguyen Ap placed a hand near the bite mark. I really was marked, and I had to risk my life to escape. If I stay here, the mark that dark tribe woman left will sooner or later lead them to me. Today was probably a signal. That's why I've decided to leave tomorrow. After hearing this, he was stunned. You've lived in the tribe since you were a child and have no means of survival. If you go to Chandong Mountain, how will you manage? Nguyen Ap was very serious. I've already decided. Since we don't know who framed me, and I see that no one believes me, anyway, my heart has grown cold. Uncle Tu, there's no need to persuade me further. Tien Due stared at him with eyes as sharp as a knife. He frowned, then ran to block Nguyen Ap's path and shouted, You can't go! Tien Due yelled, You can't go! He thought, I haven't even met Dang Thin yet. If even Kuk Fu leaves, then wouldn't these past few days since I transmigrated have been for nothing? Tu Phuc retorted, he wants to move. What's it to you? Tien Due explained. The matter between Li Nguyen Ap and the Dark Tribe hasn't been cleared up yet. It's very likely he's running away to escape punishment, village chief. You know how dangerous the Dark Tribe is. We can't leave any potential threats to the villagers. Right, Nguyen Ap spoke up. Young Master Thatch, just as you have no proof that you framed me, you also have no proof that I am colluding with the Dark Tribe. Oh, right. If I were really in league with them, why would they try to assassinate me? And why would I kill her at the same time? Kuk Fu's expression was extremely grim. A system notification warned, fatal. Checking a host's darkening points with Kuk Fu, the female villain have increased. He was stunned. How did this happen? It screamed, host back off immediately, change the subject and think long term. Chandong Mountain also has a female villain who needs to be won over. We have to go to Chandong Mountain anyway. Tien Due turned and walked away. Do whatever you want. I'm not getting involved anymore. As he left, his hand clenched into a fist. He thought to himself, at least I don't have to worry about her being won over by the so-called male lead. Meanwhile, she showed extreme disgust, her distrust hard to shake. Nguyen Ap spoke up. Although there's no definite conclusion, Uncle Tu, you've watched me grow up. No matter how bad I might be, I could never betray the village. Uncle Tu, Kuk Fu, and I need to go back and pack our things. Let's just drop this here. I don't want to think about who framed me anymore. I'll be safer if I go to Chandong Mountain. He patted his shoulder. When you get to Chandong Mountain, you have to live a good life. Fix your bad habits and be an honest person. He agreed, I will. At that moment, their cozy home lay in ruins. Nguyen Ap spoke comfortingly. It's broken, so it's broken. Don't fix it. Kuk Fu still replied, sounding very distressed. But he took her hand. You never liked this place anyway. So let's just think of this as a new beginning. Seeing this, Kuk Fu unconsciously fell silent. Nguyen Ap said in a gentle voice, We'll have a new home. She shyly lowered her gaze, curious. A new home? He nodded, assuring her, our home. A moment later, Nguyen Ap lay down on the bed and sighed. Let's get to sleep early tonight. Kuk Fu looks outside, hesitating. Are we just going to open the door like this? He reminds her, logically, I don't have anything worth stealing. The only thing anyone would want to eye is you. Nguyen Ap says with a teasing smile, how about we sleep together, just to keep each other company. I won't do anything to you. Besides, we have to leave tomorrow anyway. This is our last night here. You can always just turn back into your animal form. She hesitates, her hand slightly raised. Kuk Fu warns, if you dare try anything with me, I'll fight you to the death. Nguyen Ap assures her, I haven't laid a hand on you all these years. You can at least trust me on that. The flame of the oil lamp flickers in the wind. The two of them lie down on the bed together and say in unison, Good night. She can't sleep, her face as red as a tomato. Then Kuk Fu turns to look at him. She says his name, Li Nguyen Ap. If you continue to treat me well from now on, then I'll live a good life with you. He reminds her, you don't have to force yourself. At the same time, doubting appears. It checks Kuk Fu's favorability and announces, +2, reward 100 points. Host, a single sentence from you has turned the entire world upside down. He replies, let's just consider this a new beginning. He thinks to himself, I won't treat her like I did before. I'm sorry on behalf of that guy, Li Nguyen Ap. I'm sorry. Kuk Fu is unconsciously stunned by the scene before her. She wraps her arms around Nguyen Ap's arm. With a smile as radiant as the morning sun, Kuk Fu agrees.